And we are live. Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Happy Phalai Day. Happy people. Happy you. So, super excited to get into it today. Very excited to have the lovely Mustafa playing Phelan back after a rough bout a couple of weeks ago. Good to see you back. Good to see you smiling, bud. How you feeling?
Great being back here. I am so excited. I think the more I go without playing Phelan, the more feral it's going to get. So I'm very excited to be back.
Well, one thing that is a good one is that of the sessions to week 2 weeks of the sessions to miss 2 weeks ago was a good one, given that it was basically Chaos Crew because you and Jules were not here to even everybody out for the first hour and a half, which was great.
Oh, God.
So everybody just got to kind of do whatever they wanted.
Absolutely exhausted, completely lost.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it
It's
was
fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's
It's
fine.
fine.
It's all good. You
It's
didn't miss
fine.
out on much. I mean, Les just leaf blew an entire field and found a secret tunnel into the mountains.
Secret tunnel.
Yeah, it's super
Secret
fun.
tunnel.
But with that, do we have any announcements? Kevin, I'm trying to remember.
Support D&D Corso's Melee Ball Kickstarter.
Oh, yeah! So I would let
Heck yeah.
D&D Corso do his thing right now, but maybe we'll let him do that
Take it
later
away,
on.
Corso.
So that, yeah.
He is currently fishing a broken contact out of his eyeball, so he'll be back shortly.
He will be back shortly.
I still have stuff up for sale on my Etsy store for my last restock. So
Oh,
if you wanna
yeah.
go
Yeah,
check
your
out
awesome restock.
Dicecraft by Lance. I've still got 2 sets up and a handful of little resin goodie trinkets that I've got.
So what is it? It's etsy.com/
Etsy.com/Dicecraft by why is my dead name still in me? I don't know. Just Dicecraft by Lance. Google that and it'll pop up as my Etsy store, and you'll be able to click on that and it'll go to it. Or you can go to my social medias @_Dice Night, and in both of my bios is the link. So if you want to do it the easy way.
Beauty. Awesome. Yeah, Kevin, did you have anything? Dicecream Patreon going strong?
Dicecream Patreon, ladies and gentlemen. It's the thing you want and the thing you need. It is growing little by little every day. But no, seriously, it's been awesome. We've got 14 patrons in there so far, various tiers, putting in their exclusive content for like DM tip videos, homebrew items, and we even got a tier for playing in a D&D game with me as the DM, which we are getting very close to starting to launch, and there are a couple spaces still available. So if anyone wants to get in on a D&D game with me as the DM, go check out the links in the bio or in the feed here, and consider being a Patreon today. It helps us keep the lights on for the stream. You know what I'm saying?
You got a lot
And
of
as
lights
we
behind
all
you.
know on this stream, we know that Kevin is a great DM, so you definitely want to try that out. Please do so.
Also,
Yeah, we also
Support
got
your
tons of
fans,
streams.
people. Without them, you wouldn't have a story.
it's true.
And we also got tons of streams going on on the channel this week too, because we had Beyond the Realms on Monday, we got Phalai right now. Tomorrow we've got the Altered Carbon mini campaign that I'm a part of. That's Thursdays at 1 p.m. PST with Level Up Dice and Hunter's Entertainment. So that's really fun. And then Friday I'm going to be in a one-shot on a Game Raider Girls Twitch channel, Ivy, who plays in Beyond the Realms as Feral.
Ivy, love
So
you.
that's really exciting. And then
We get to play together
Saturday,
again on Friday?
we do get to play together again. And then Saturday, back here, me as a DM for the Chromatic Dragon Saga with Jessica Wings, Shay Aiden, Lightbox Gnome, Web-Headed Hero, and BB Merrill. So that's going on in the channel this week. So
Yeah. I think it's the first time we'll have streamed 5 days in a week.
like a regular work week, baby.
I know, right? It's like we're a real Twitch channel now. Also, big shout out to Tabletop Santa. Thank you so much for the 1,000 bits to start us off. Christmas joy to all the players from
Yay.
Tabletop Santa. So we appreciate that, bud. But yeah, we've given...
April.
It's April. It's Christmas in April. But yeah, we've given Corso about as much time as we can. So I'm going to go ahead and roll our last we left off. And then we'll get started with this week's episode of The Phalai.
Let's get her done.
So, last we left off, as the group settled into the farming city of Felderwin, attempting to help Jules' uncle Zacharias with a recent rash of disappearances, the party encountered a red dragonborn named Fialtes Bladevein, who, under some influence, revealed that he saw a demonic, tiger-like entity skulking around a nearby farm before vanishing into the ground with an entire cow held aloft overhead. Margot wasn't sure, but she believed that this creature to be the true guise of a Rakshasa, though she barely knew more than stories about what exactly a Rakshasa is. Initially wondering if Zacharias had something to do with this or knew anything about it, Nebula used his powers of deception to catch the man offhand, having recently awoken from sleep, and determined he was likely unaware of the situation. After Margot took some time speaking to a more sober Fealties the next day, the group spent the better part of the afternoon searching the abandoned field for where this entity had vanished, before Les began using his gust of wind as a makeshift leaf blower among the fields. And in a stroke of luck, or call it genius, he found a well-camouflaged hatch that opened to a tall, wide tunnel underneath the field, supported by wooden beams and thick ropes. The group walked for well over an hour through the winding tunnel before coming upon a series of intersections, with their chosen path eventually leading to a dead end, with another hatch that opened into a small, secluded grove of bushes and trees on the western side of the city. So with the afternoon pushing into evening, and Phelan resting at the Fowler Manor after a raucous previous night, what would you all like to do?
Well, we're currently in the tunnel right now, right?
Everybody is currently in the tunnel except for Margot, who had been pushed up and out of the tunnel on Galahad's shoulders.
Yeah.
And what time is it currently?
It's late afternoon pushing into evening, give or take 5:30.
Like midday, like around there.
Late midday.
How long would you say you have until sunset?
Until sunset, probably about 2 to 3 hours.
2 to 3 hours, okay.
So Margot at this point sees like the Fowler Mansion, everything in the distance, and
Correct.
is like very confused where everything is going on, considering like we're on the outskirts, like kind of see everything going on, but still kind of secluded away from everybody.
Yep.
Margot immediately knows that a mistake was made somewhere along the way as far as like choosing the path, but doesn't know where.
Correct.
And like looking down into the hatch, especially at like Galahad, who just pulled her up, she's like, this isn't right. Like this is a clearing in the middle of nowhere.
It looks to be a pretty well camouflaged opening. Like, unless somebody was actively looking in this area, finding this hatch would be pretty unlikely. So it was definitely put here for a reason. But you're correct. It's not exactly somewhere that is anywhere of significance. There's no houses or any homesteads or anything of any real note for at least 100 feet away. You're in just kind of like a little bit of a shrubbery, tree-ish area.
Like an off the beaten path sort of like.
Yeah, it's definitely not like a part of a main thoroughfare or anything like that. It's on the western edge of where you would consider the city to be.
Okay, so Margot, like seeing this at this point, like looks back down at the hatch and kind of like to the group vocally basically just says, I must have chose the wrong way because this just leads to a clearing. So like she like extends her hand for like anybody who like wants to come and see, but like she's like, come see for yourself, it leads nowhere.
Yeah, Jules will hop up and take a look.
Okay.
So at that point, like Margot, like grabbing for Jules' hands, will like try and pull Jules out of the hatch.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you need us to make a roll for this, Jordy?
Nope. With Margot up top now,
Nope.
You're able to just kind of reach down and pull somebody up because Galahad's standing there. You kind of climb up on top and then just one hand to pull up and out. It's not exactly a difficult amount to get up. It's more so if you were to get out by yourself, then you would need to make a check.
Okay. Yeah. Jules is gonna look across and just go, Odd that it would let out right here. Huh. Well, while we're here, do you think we should check in on Phelan and see if he's doing a bit better?
And so like
Hopefully has ailed his sickness.
So, like, Margot to the rest of the group, just to clarify to everybody, like, that's still down in the hatch, like, beneath her. She basically is going to look down and say, like, the Fowler Mansion is over off in the distance. I don't know if these tunnels serve some purpose, but it's secluded, but nowhere near anything important.
Mm.
So what I mean, we could go get Phelan. The Fowler Mansion's over there, but don't you think it'd look a little bit weird just walking out of a field? Should we head back into town and then reach?
Well, we don't really know exactly where this tunnel leads to, and
should we go back, climb out through the tunnel, through the field, and then go?
I don't think it particularly matters, quite frankly.
That would take... Wait a minute, I'm not a tiefling, bud.
Yeah. That would take a lot longer. Maybe we should just hop out here.
Nebula calls up. How far do you think it is?
How far does Margot think it is, Jordy?
To the Fowler Manor from where you are?
Yeah. Like a couple, like what, 200?
300 to 500 feet.
Oh, okay.
Like it's enough that like you could get there in a quick jog in a couple of minutes, but like it's not like a directly close thing.
I mean, at this point, Margot is just gonna be like, it's walking distance. It's right over there.
I can handle that. Kevin, I see your finger up.
You're muted.
Oh wait, we can't hear you.
Hey, there we go. Did I make a check last session to see any remnants of anything that might have been in these tunnels or anything like that?
You did. So you had used the lot of you and kind of whoever was leading the party had used survival checks to try and figure out what the path that was most well traveled was. You weren't really able to figure that out. This is where you went through a couple of T junctions where there were a few different directions you could go. This was the one where it was a Y split. You had a left path, which was the one that you took, and a right path was the one that you didn't. Those were the two that you kind of couldn't really tell much more, but you did see that there seemed to be clumps of dirt that seemed to be held together by some kind of liquid-like substance. You didn't get as good of a look at it as you would as you could have, but you would have guessed that it was likely blood of some kind.
Yeah, okay. That's all.
Definitely long dried, and like it just kind of clumped. Like, you know, if you've got like wet dirt that kind of clumps up for a little bit, it just kind of stays in a ball like that.
Right. Okay.
So Nebula will go to climb out of the hole, and
Margot's not helping him. I'm just the whole general populace. No, Margot's not going to help him.
He's going to use Galahad here. That pally boy.
All right, so go ahead and make just a quick athletics check for me to just try and make the leap, because it is about 10 feet or so, even with Galahad's height, for you to get up.
Yeah. Whoop. Let me roll his official die on this.
Everyone's climbing Galahad.
I've got a +4 to athletics, and this die roll.
That's the problem, Saint.
That's
Everybody
4.
wants to climb Galahad.
It's only an 8 total, Jordy.
It's an 8 total. You kind of reach up, and like Margot kind of does the thing, or does the at the last second, as you kind of reach up and you think you've got it. You've got like a foothold on the outside. If somebody had just grabbed you, you would have pulled yourself right up, but you kind of immediately start to slink back, and you kind of hold on and steady yourself. You're not quite able to get up and out on your own.
And I like to Galahad and go, so you gonna follow through on that one this time? And he then transforms to look like Margot. He's like, will this make it easier for you to get me up there, big boy? Do you want me to athletics check that again?
On your own with your current size, I'll go and get you to make one at disadvantage unless somebody on the outside is willing to help you.
God, no! Fall, you bitch!
No.
Yeah, that's not flying.
That's not flying. Yeah, so you go you like kind of half expecting turning into Margot, taking the joke a little, and then go to make the step up, and you misjudge the step, and you start to fall back, and like with that comment to Galahad, he just kind of goes and like shuffles a little bit, and you just and you fall down onto the ground. You don't take any damage, but you're now a little bit on the dusty side, no longer on Galahad's shoulders.
At this point, Margot's gonna look down into. This point, Margot's gonna look down, and she's just gonna be like, "Don't be mad because you're not me. You'll never be as good as me."
And he says, you know, it's probably weird looking down on yourself, but you've got the attitude to do it.
Oh, don't worry. Nobody can be quite like the original. You wouldn't know what that's like. The only original thing you are is a pain in everybody's ass.
Can we just get out of this hole?
Less.
I want to come up from behind them as they're bickering, go fucking children, and just try to jump out of the hole myself.
All right, go make an athletics check for me.
Oh no.
Oh my god, we're never getting out of this hole.
Where the hole is our fucking PPG. Got a
It's not
9.
even
That's a
door
9.
this time,
That
it's
is
a
not
hole.
enough. Unless you kind of clamber up on. Oh god, I'm so irritated. And Galahad is just kind of at this point, having had now 4 people climb onto his shoulders, they're starting to sink a little bit lower. And like, oh god, it's getting heavy. And you're not quite able to get up and out. You're kind of scrambling up there, trying to do your best.
I'm on my back and I say, well, that's fucking embarrassing.
I'm not going to use Nebula's die tonight because I just rolled it the entire time Dice was talking, and I got 2, 1, 5, 7, 2. I got 2 about 6 times.
It's a
annoying,
good night for
isn't
me.
it, Torso? It's so annoying when that happens.
Got to use old trusty here, the black one.
God.
Alrighty. So, Les, you are unable to make it up and out as well. Phelan, you not being there, it is currently just Margot and Jules.
Sorry, Moose, we're never going to get to you this session. We're going to be rolling for 4 hours.
Honestly, if I was just like watching everybody flounder to get out of a hole for the rest of the session, I'd be okay. It's fun.
Moose over here is just like, as a bugbear, this is not a problem for me.
So Margot, you and Jules see that the rest of them just can't seem to quite get out of this hole without some kind of assistance. Do you want to help them in some way, or do you guys just want to head on?
I'm good.
No.
All right, so you guys are heading on.
I'll help anyone but Nebula.
Well, Nebula's going to respond flat out. Is someone getting Phelan? And he turns and he walks into the tunnels.
Okay.
Okay,
Alrighty.
bye.
So you head back down the way that you came. So
With
you two,
Nebula.
Yeah, I'm going to go backwards.
yeah. So it's a good couple of minutes going backwards. So Margot and Jules, you two are the two outside of the tunnel at this moment. Also, thanks Tabletop Santa to cast Detect Obvious on the players. So Margot, you and Jules are at this point outside of the tunnel. Do you just want to head back to the Fowler Banner and grab Phelan?
I
See
mean,
how
at this point, if we're just going to go back into the tunnels, it might not just be bad to just let them hash this out and we can go grab the boy.
All right, if Nebula is going to go deeper to the tunnels, I'll go back him up.
Okay. All right, so you two
Good.
kind of duck your way off while
What
Les
are you
and
doing?
Nebula
I'll come with you.
head a little
So
bit
at
further
this
down.
point, Margot's going to look in and see Galahad being the lone, the pillar holding this group together, basically. And just be like, coming or going?
It might be a little hard for me to get out of this. I'll just stay here.
The hole defeated us.
Can I
The
just
whole
for
split the
flavor, can
party.
you roll an athletics just to see what you would get? Because I'm curious.
Saint, you would be at disadvantage for that because you're not getting assistance from anybody.
Of course I would be.
No, Margot would help Galahad. Margot would absolutely
Okay,
help
then it'd be a straight
Galahad.
roll for you. So whatever you got in the
Twice as
first
good,
one.
but I would have rolled a 12.
So yeah, it's actually, you would be fine because Margot would be helping you out. So what was the higher of the two?
21.
21. Okay, so you
Yeah,
would have been able
yeah.
to get out.
Can we
with
just say that
Margot's
Galahad's too heavy and pulls Margot in?
help. With over a 20, no.
I just
With
imagine
under a
Margot's like
10,
on his
yes.
left hand and Jules is on his right, and we're like trying to heave this Warforged out.
Yeah. So with over a 20, no, it's fine. You would have been able to pull him out. If you had rolled under a 10 with assistance, then yes, you would have pulled whoever that person was back down into the tunnel with you.
We don't live in that dark timeline.
The dark-
But yeah,
Timeline.
after I fall on my back, I'm trying to like cover it up and be like, yeah, you know what? Actually, it's probably a good idea that me and Nebula go scout ahead while you go get Phelan right over there. Yeah, I'm coming, Nebula. Good idea. And just like dust myself off. run
So
over.
at this point, Margot's gonna be like, well, if we need to find you, Galahad, can you leave a trail?
Yeah, sure.
Just look at the ground and there's probably like heavy footprints.
Yeah.
And then Margot at this point will perceive the heavy footprints and be like, good enough.
It's not exactly hard. The rest of you, maybe wanting to leave a breadcrumb trail of some kind. Between Galahad, thick boys leave thick tracks. We're going to put it that way.
It is what it is.
All right.
Also, note that none of the guys were able to climb out of this hole.
Correct.
We're just like, yeah, it's too hard.
It's too hard. It's too hard.
Oh wow, would you look at that? A man putting himself into a hole. How different.
Hey, technically, I was in the hole.
They
at the beginning,
didn't
but I never
dig
pulled
the
myself
hole.
out.
They
I
just
was
couldn't
this
get out
close
of
to
it.
using my telekinetic movement to like force pull you back into the hole.
Oh man! All right, so with
But
that,
I want Moose to play, so I'm not gonna do that.
All right. So at this point,
So-
Margot's gonna see Galahad just succumbing to the whole succumbing. What the?
Succumbing.
Oh my
Succumbing.
God.
Very scary D&D animal.
Ooh, succumbing.
At least the Cuillin.
Succumbing to the hole. And
Succumbing.
we will go retrieve the Felin.
Bring back some French pastries, will you?
Margot's getting the bonk.
All right, so Margot and Jules, you two head back rapidly towards the Fowler Manor. It's not a long distance; it's more so just kind of a slight walk to get there, probably 3 or 4 minutes, somewhere in that range. By that time, Nebula, you and Les have kind of made your way back. Galahad, did you want to stay at the entrance to the hole, watching the opening, or did you want to follow them back?
I will be heading with the rest of the group in the tunnels,
Okay.
making sure to go extra thick on those footprints.
All right, so you're kind of like pushing in and like scraping a little bit to make sure that your footprints are able to be quite clearly
He's going
seen.
full moto, extra thick.
There you go. All right, so you three making your way back. We'll go with you guys first because it would be a little bit shorter for you guys to walk back to the area that you initially entered into this side tunnel. So you've got the direction that you came from, which you know there are quite a few splintering tunnels that come off of it, or there was the right path, which was the one that you guys did not take. Which one do you feel like you would want to go for?
I think looking to less, I would say. So we came down this path here. What about the one to the right?
Which one had all the blood and guts in it?
It seemed to be on most of the ground. It wasn't really particular to any tunnel. That's kind of where you lost your sense of direction. There did seem to be more of it coming this direction than there did from any one of the other tunnels that you saw previously. Like they
Is
all
there
kind
any-
of funneled into this point.
Right. And from this split path, is there anything I can discern between the two? Like, does one have any kind of weird smells coming from it? Does one seem to have a breeze coming through it? Like, anything that differentiates the two tunnels?
There isn't really much. At this point, it's underground tunnels. It's kind of picking a direction, trying to figure out, or just kind of walking the path and seeing what you end up walking into. The only things that you've really been able to see in terms of any additional sources of light or any kind of sound has been when you're getting close to an exit, and then you end up hearing things that are near one of these openings where light and sound can actually get through properly.
It's anyone's guess here, buddy.
I will say, given the direction of the tunnel that you just walked back from, and the fact that Margot kind of announced and Jules announced where that tunnel let out, you seem to be walking back closer towards what you would imagine is the center of town. And then the tunnel that heads to the right seems to be going even kind of closer towards the center of town. Whereas going back in the other direction is a little bit further south. That's kind of going out towards more of where the entrance to the town is.
So barely we go maybe to the middle of the town, or near the entrance of the town.
Let's give the right a shot.
All
See
right.
what comes of it.
Alrighty, so with you guys starting to head down the right path, we'll jump to Jules and Margot. So you two making your way over to the Fowler Manor, the familiar 2 guards stationed out front. They don't even give you a second look at this point. You've kind of come and gone a couple of times by now, and you're able to open up the door without any real issue. You see Philip waiting inside, not dutifully waiting for anything in particular, but more so just kind of meandering around. Seems to be going in and out of different side tunnels, or different side rooms.
Philip, would you happen to know if Phelan would be awake?
Yes, of course. Phelan has woken up not too long ago. I would imagine he would probably just be resting in his room, perhaps partaking in some of the mid-afternoon snacks.
Thank you very kindly.
My man.
And Jules will head out to go and secure Phelan and get him to come with.
Alrighty. So
Why do
you
I
would-
feel like Phelan would have a whole charcuterie board in his room, just eating fancy cheeses in here? Like, I feel like Phelan would be like, it's so fancy.
Yo, they got fucking free charcuterie boards? He's going to eat that.
Phelan's like, I don't know what a charcuterie board is, but I'm excited about it.
Dive right on in.
So, Phelan, do you think you would have a charcuterie board in your room, or would you be in the
Oh,
dining hall?
100%.
Yeah?
100%. I would be in my room, I'd be in bed, and I would be like laying back, legs crossed in front of me, and like with a charcuterie board on my chest as I like eat it. And like I'd have like a nice warm towel around my neck, just doing the best. Got my legs up. It's a wonderful time.
Yeah, enjoying the luxury comforts.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, so you two kind of popping into the. No, sorry. Go ahead.
Jules will kind of knock on his door, kind of sharply, not in like an aggressive way, but just like a, "Hey, you fucking up? Are you still out?" And does Phelan answer?
It's gonna take me a moment. I'm gonna Phelan's gonna be chilling in bed, right? He's gonna hear that knock and hear the words and just take a deep sigh and remember that he has responsibility.
She's gonna knock again.
At this
Wake
point,
up, it's time to
Margot.
be an adult.
At this point, Margot's gonna ignore the second knock and just walk in. Like it's taking too long. Like we got a mission to do, bud.
And
And she's gonna. Well, here's the thing. She's gonna look at him, and I imagine like he's like deer in headlights. Like he just get caught in the act, or is he just like, yeah, this is what it is. So what?
Oh, 100%. No, you walk in and feels like I was about to come out. Cheese? I had some left.
Jules will reach down, take one piece of the cheese, eat it, and say, "Come on, let's go. We found some tunnels underground for some reason. The three guys, they've already headed out without us."
I hope you had your fill of salami. This might get messy.
You know what? It's gonna be great. We're gonna make some more salami down there. I'm ready.
Don't understand what you mean by that, but all right, let's go.
I'm gonna get up and just grab my gear as I'm going out, and just like grab my daggers and like shaman's claw and wrap them on and head on out.
A couple of pepperoni and mozzarella squares for the road.
Oh, 100%. I'm gonna and also shove like 5 bites worth of like of this cheese just right in my mouth.
Yeah, just chipmunk it into
shut
one
up?
cheek.
On our way out, without stopping, Jules is just gonna say over her shoulder, just, "Philip, we should be home before dark. Have a good rest of your night." And we'll
You as
just
well,
keep
ma'am.
going on out.
Dinner tonight is roasted pheasant if you're interested. As you kind of head off out the door. So, with the three of you back out, having had that little conversation, start making your way back towards the tunnel entrance. Les, Nebula, and Galahad. So, you guys pushing forward down that right path. Underground, the light is not present. How many of you have dark vision?
I
don't.
got it.
I do.
Oh wait, yeah.
So, Nebula does not, Galahad does not.
Nope.
Okay, so Les, you are
I
the
have not
only
installed
person
that module.
with vision at the moment, but there is a little bit of light emanating from the crystal in Galahad's chest, enough to give like 5 feet of dim light just kind of right around them, but you're the only one who can see off into the distance. Do you guys want to have a light source of some kind, or are you just walking down the tunnel with Les leading?
Do you want to do light source, or do you want to rely on the special eyes of the game?
At this point, Nebula would need a light source.
Okay.
And so, any of you able to muster up a little magic to solve this, or shall I be striking a torch?
I got no light powers. I'm sorry, bud.
Fair enough. And he'll light a torch.
Okay. So, pushing your way down, lighting a torch, you've got a good 15 feet of bright light, and then another 15 feet of dim light beyond that. Less that pushes your dark vision out even further, so you're able to see about 120 or so feet ahead. The tunnel snakes a little bit. The one that you had come from, the one that did the harder left turn leading towards the left side or the western side of the city, the tunnel to the right does the same thing but in the opposite direction, kind of snaking to the right, and then eventually kind of evening out a little bit before doing a hard cut towards the left, like kind of a sharper angling turn in towards the left. And as you're making your way down the tunnel, excuse me, where am I going here? There we go. The tunnels so far have been rough hewn, right? Stable. A couple of beams here and there, a few ropes lashing everything together. But with some sharp turns for different pathways, here things change. The tunnel ends pretty abruptly with a hard left turn into a straight hall. And you can see this about 100 feet ahead or so. The walls are significantly more well supported. You see wooden cross beams overhead, nets to trap falling dirt and rock on the ceiling and on the sides. Things are definitely looking to be a little bit more structured in this area.
All right. It's a lot less chaotic down this way, seems.
Nebula will place a hand on Les's shoulder and hold a finger to his lips. And he'll lean in and quietly mutter, "The perfect place to have something residing." And he'll look to Galahad and he'll signal forward and he'll motion his shield towards Galahad, kind of a get ready sign.
Okay.
Shields out.
So you continue on this path, or are you going to turn back and wait for the others?
I think Nebula would slowly advance forward, but he's holding a spell action.
Okay. Holding a cantrip or a leveled spell?
He will be holding a cantrip.
Okay. Which cantrip?
Minor illusion. And Nebula crouches down and begins to take a sort of a slower, quiet, and the stressful point here is that he's crouched fairly low.
Okay. All right, so we'll get all of you three guys at this point, I'm assuming, to roll stealth checks, since you are attempting to be stealthy as you're continuing forward.
Oh, no.
All right. I'm using D&D Beyond now, and so if you're in the campaign, you can see me. Let's roll this bad boy. See, there we go. That's a 19.
All right.
15 plus 4. Thank you, D&D Beyond.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's so much better than roll 20 dice.
I'm assuming... Les, go ahead.
14.
14, and Galahad, I'm assuming 2 good rolls.
I'm just looking for my no bonuses. I got a 20 and an 18 at disadvantage.
Very nice. All right.
Yeah.
So, Les, you said, what was yours total? 14?
14.
14 total, okay. All right, so you continue down for about another 60, 70 feet. And at this point, the sharp left turn is definitely more in view. You still have your torch lit?
He would have at this point. Yeah.
Okay. So the hall continues on, and then eventually you see the sharp left turn coming up. Who is going to be leading this?
So this is when we should have a conversation. So it looks like, as you said, and I'm going to be whispering this hushedly,
Okay.
to Nebula, as you said just a minute ago, that there might be something residing in here, given that the supports are a bit more nicer. Should we keep going forward, alerting our presence with this light? I mean, I can see pretty far. I could scout ahead a little bit, give you guys a bit of a warning.
Jordy, what was my vision like in here without them? Without the light?
Without the light, non-existent. It is a dark area. If you don't have dark vision, you have absolutely no light source.
So blinded?
Blinded. You're able to see the gem in Galahad's chest. That's about it.
Okay.
It's up to you. I mean, you're a pretty capable warrior, as I've seen. I mean, if you think it's nothing to be worried about, but if you want to get a jump on something, best not to let them know that we're behind them.
And, fair enough. And Nebula will set the torch down, but he won't snuff it out.
All right. So setting it down so you're able to get a little bit of light kind of towards the end of where this tunnel is. Okay. All right. So with that, Nebula, you're leading the way.
One of the ones with dark
Les
vision,
is.
yeah.
Sorry.
Les
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
So sorry, Les, you're going to lead the way. So Nebula and Galahad, you guys will be in behind. So Les, you kind of making your way towards the end of the tunnel. The light definitely helps, and it gives a little bit of around the corner spillage, but not enough so that it really might impact whatever might be beyond this. And you do your best to kind of get up and you peek around that corner, and you see that the hall now continues for about 50 feet perfectly straight. Very well supported beams on both sides, cross beams, nets above, a good amount of dirt that's fallen into the nets but has been held in place. It almost seems to be structuring some kind of a ceiling now, where it is very, very well formed square rectangular hallway as you push your way down. It's about 10 feet across, and then about 50 feet further down, and you're able to see about 10 feet in, a little bit beyond that with your dark vision. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
I would like to cast Divine Sense.
No, I was gonna say, I'm so doing that right now. As soon as he's done with this roll.
All right, Les?
Natural 1!
Natural 1, okay. Dark vision is grayscale at the best of times. The wall is gray, the floor is gray, the beams are a little bit lighter because they're made of wood, but looking further down, the best you can make out is that it goes to for about 50 feet and then opens up into a larger room, but you have no idea what's in that room. You're only able to see 5, maybe 10 feet into it at the distance you're at. So what I will do here is, if you guys want to hop onto roll 20.
Yeah. Also, don't ignore our divine senses.
No, I won't ignore your divine senses.
Those are very important here, guys. We need to get the shirts made already.
So it's 60 feet of things that you can see, correct?
The distance on divine sense, yes, 60 feet.
Okay. You both kind of, following Les's lead, pop divine sense. Nothing seems to ping in that range. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and reveal this. It'll be just a little bit down from where you guys are right now.
Wait a minute. Ominous music. Wide open area.
Yeah.
Are those potions and a checkpoint? Oh,
Boss battle.
All right.
Bum, 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 bum.
Why do I hear boss?
So see,
The boss steps out and says, "This is where you're gonna take your break."
All right, so I'm just going to move all your characters down.
This is why we
into
can't
that
have
area.
nice things.
seeing that tunnel down, I'll just kind of like make my way back to Nebula and Galahad and just be like, there's a concrete tunnel down there. The ceiling's a bit nicer. It goes down about 50 feet, but I couldn't see much beyond that.
All right, so there's you three guys kind of down there in that tunnel area.
Three Stooges together again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We do be stooging.
We be stooging.
Straight up stooge.
Alrighty.
Okay.
So that's kind of what you're looking at the moment right now, is you've got very, very nice clean walls on either side. The left side wall kind of continues on a little bit, but the right side wall definitely seems to open up into a larger room, but you're not able to see anything further.
I may not be Nebula, but this does look kind of sus. And I think we should wait for the rest of the party.
Chat, why is the game auto-saving?
Oh, God.
Wow, suddenly there's a ton of ammo drops and health packs right here.
You
Wow.
have reached a point of no return. Would you like to continue?
So,
Continuing now, we'll alter the course of the story. Do you wish to proceed?
We could hunker down here and wait for the others to arrive before going forward.
And Nebula will nod.
all right. So,
I will also. I nod. Use my
Galahad
nod
nodding as
action.
well. I will use my nod action. All right, so with the three of you kind of just settling down, knee to the ground, getting as good a look as you can, keeping an eye on this tunnel, we'll jump back to Margot, Phelan, and Jules. So, Jules, Margot, you two leading the way for Phelan to head back into the tunnel?
Mhm.
Alrighty.
We'll catch him up on everything that he's missed so far for brevity's sake. We'll just say that we do that, and then we'll make our way trying to hop back down into the tunnel.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So we're digging
Roll
into
those
the
checks for the tunnel. Do it.
So, sorry, Phelan, what'd you say?
No, I was just making conversation as we're going through. So we're going into these tunnels, not really sure what we're gonna be fighting or expecting down there. Just my kind of treat. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So we gotta
All right. Do you
jump
want us to roll
down.
to get into the tunnel?
So if you're jumping down into the tunnel because you don't have anybody to catch you, I just need you guys to make an acrobatics check to land without taking damage.
Cool.
Oh boy.
That's a fun.
Oh, that's a nat 20! That's a nat 20, baby!
Oh, how dare you.
That's a nat 20 with a 1, so 21. Also, I just got this new dragon themed dice tray.
Ooh,
So-
very nice.
Ooh.
So that was my first official roll in my dragon themed dice tray with my lucky dice. So I think I have a winning combination.
What we'll say for that is on a natural 20, Margot, you just take the initiative because you're fed up. You want to be down in the tunnel again. You just jump down first. We'll say that gives everybody else advantage because they're kind of jumping down to you and you're helping them land. So Jules and Phelan, you
Fuck
two
that
will have
advantage. I don't need that shit. I got a nat 20 also. Let's go.
All right. Between the two of you, Jules, you auto succeed with the 2 nat 20s. All 3 of you jump down
Wonderful.
like the 3 of you just hop straight in the hole.
With
and
lock arms.
Exactly. Just
We're off to see the wizard.
Exactly. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful wizard
The
under
wizard.
Oz. So with that, the 3 of you kind of hopping down into the tunnel, you, for no issue whatsoever, are able to get everything set up again there. But you see that the guys are gone.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah. We will follow carefully,
I mean-
quietly after them, I assume.
So at this point, Margot again lights like a small fire, like in her own hands to use as like a torch to lead the way, like she did last time.
So just to clarify, so Tiefling, dark vision. Bugbear, dark vision.
Yes.
Dragon,
Dragon.
no vision.
Oh,
But
you
with
don't have,
fire.
you don't have dark vision.
Dragon, no, don't have dark vision.
Wizards of the Coast removed the Dragonborn's ability to have dark vision in a previous.
Really?
Mhm.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, yeah. Okay.
I got nerfed, but I got fire, so that means
Fire.
shit to me.
Fair enough. So lighting up your
As
hand,
we're-
no issue whatsoever. Making your way down, Phelan, go ahead.
Yeah, as we're walking down, I'm gonna turn around to the others and say, "Okay, so I have 10 gold saying that Nebula would have killed himself by now, and we get there. Nebula's dead."
I have 20
I'll
gold
put some
saying
gold
he's
on.
already cast Divine Sense.
You can just feel it.
Like a
Probably
very,
right.
like an ill-smelling fart in the air. He's already cast Divine Sense.
Can you feel it?
Like a gentle fart.
I am a leaf on the wind.
Yeah, Jules will take that bet though.
Hey.
Mustafa, they'll take the bet that he's dead.
Bet.
There we
Okay.
go.
Cool.
All right. So you guys kind of hopping down in. Margot with your flame. Who is going to be leading for you 3?
All right, so at this point, Margot's looking for the tracks that Galahad left, or any sign that Galahad's been in the area.
Yeah, and
Jules will take
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
take a second to cast Mage Armor on themselves
Okay.
with their Eldritch Invocations, by the way.
Mage armor has been cast. Good to know. All right, so the 3 of you heading down, Margot, you leading the way. It's easy enough to find Galahad's footprints, given that he was stomping them into the ground on purpose. You make your way back, following the footprints, a second set to that Y split, and then seeing that there are now substantial footprints heading off on that right-hand path. And you continue following that for a good 3 to 5 minutes or so, kind of closing in on 7-8 minutes at this point, until eventually you see that same long hallway, and with your light source and looking ahead, you see that there is now a torch off in the distance, kind of laid down on the ground, and then Phelan and Jules with all the light sources, you're able to see the 3 guys kind of kneeling very quietly at the end of the hallway, looking off to their left. So the 3 of you up ahead would hear a little bit of the noise coming in behind because they weren't actively being stealthy. So you're able to kind of turn around and get a look.
Hello?
I want it noted that Nebula does not turn around.
Okay.
Because if we heard them coming, Nebula keeps staring at the hallway they're monitoring.
Good to know.
Saying you're a betrayer. Betrayal!
I don't know what you're talking about. I'd never do anything like that.
Betrayer!
So we'll say Les and
Yeah.
Galahad, you two turn around. Do you want to do anything when you turn around and see them kind of about 100 feet or so back?
I would like to wave enthusiastically.
Phelan is the one actually. Yeah, there you go. The 2 of you just waving at each other very enthusiastically.
Missed you, buddy.
Jules, seeing that they're all kind of hunched over and crouched and looking down a hallway, will gesture to the other 2 to kind of like keep it down and to start stealthing.
Okay, I'll get to you 3 to go ahead and make stealth checks for me.
That's my shit.
17
Right
plus
there.
2,
19.
so 19.
Nice.
Wow.
Wow.
Fancy.
God, that's all I can
Oh.
think about after seeing that Loki trailer. I'm sorry. If you haven't seen it yet, Owen Wilson is in it, and every time I just go, wow.
I haven't seen it yet. That'd be good to know. I'll have to check it out.
It's a good trailer, but like for me, it was so weird just hearing Owen Wilson's voice.
Jordy is an Owen Wilson hater.
No, I love Owen Wilson. I love that he is typecast in very specific roles that are very good for Owen Wilson. Anyway, so 19 for Jules. Phelan, what was your stealth?
The rogue rolled a nat 1.
What's your total?
He was
For a
too
9.
enthusiastic
For a
with the wave.
9. All right, Margot.
Too much charcuterie board. You whiff a fart as you come down the hall.
All that cheese.
Phelan's building up a lactose intolerance. No.
So my stealth, not stellar, 7.
7. Okay. So you three kind of making your way down. Nebula turning back, or not turning back. Galahad waving enthusiastically. Phelan waving enthusiastically as well. Jules kind of motioning to get down. Maybe a little bit too late as you guys kind of go, hey guys, what's going on? Down at the end of the hall.
Shut the fuck up.
And then you just like this. And Nebula, you instinctively like start just staring further forward. You can't see anything because there's no light permeating that. You're only able to see like maybe 10 feet in front of you. But there was at least some sound behind you until everybody kind of went shh, and then you all started to make your way closer together as now the 6 of you are all down at that end of that tunnel.
Can I see if I heard any change in the room?
Go make a perception check.
Better than me.
I have a +1 to a. Come on, roll it. No, it's a 5.
It's a 5.
Why are we so bad?
Wow, the dice are just betraying you tonight.
Yeah, they don't like me down here where I have no dark vision and it makes sense for me to be bad at things. They're like, no, stick to the fiction.
Right. But looking ahead, without any light source, doing your best to listen, you hear a little bit of the crackling flame coming from behind you. Nothing substantial up ahead.
I would like to cast Detect Magic.
Okay. Detect Magic is up. Your eyes come to light and you see a couple of sources of magic coming from a few of your allies, the same ones that you're used to seeing. As you all kind of push your way into the end of the tunnel, I'm just going to move all 6 of you onto this onto roll 20 now, so you can all see yourselves. Do. All right, so there's the 6 of you in the tunnel at the moment. Detect Magic. You cast that. What's the range on it? 60 feet?
30.
30. Inside the tunnel, you don't see anything up ahead that is magic in nature.
Oh, damn.
All right, well, now that we've got the whole goddamn gang here, let's just take a moment. I'm gonna go scout ahead once again, just see if there's anything weird and suspicious going on, and I'll report back, all right? Is that good with you?
You should probably take the one that's supposed to be quiet, and she's going to point to Phelan.
You mean
Yeah,
the
he
one
is
who
a-
fought in the charcuterie bowl just a few seconds ago?
Sorry, there's still cheese stuck in my mouth. I could still try. I could be quiet. I got this.
All right.
All right, as long as you've got it under control.
My...
So you guys begin shuffling your way forward. The 2 of you, dark vision, start moving your way down the tunnel. I'll just grab your characters. Start
Fuck
pushing
jokes, they're
forward.
never not funny.
So you guys slowly start to make your way down. How far down the tunnel do you want to go?
I think just around the corner so we can, like, peek over.
Okay. So you kind of just start pushing your way down a little bit over into here.
As they, well, I can't, can I see them at all?
At this distance, unless Margot has her flame still up, which you didn't say if you dropped it. Did you want to leave your flame source up?
I imagine at this point it's just a flame that's small enough to cast like a small gentle glow about everybody that's in the group, but not enough to like
So
go
what is
down
it
by
you're
any
using to do this? Is it produce flame?
So this one I imagine it's just like holding a firebolt or something along those lines, like basically.
Yeah, but which spell is it?
Or which spell?
Oh, I was just basically being like, I have a dragon, I can make fire and all that stuff, but no, I don't have that. I was just basically
Do you have the
readying-
firebolt cantrip?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. Is that I was ready? Yeah, I would imagine it would basically be like a very small, like contained firebolt cantrip in case things like again, yeetus the firebolt as I've done before.
Okay. I'll say because it's the firebolt, it won't do as much as produce flame in terms of light source. It would be a 5-foot bright light radius and then another 5 feet of dim light beyond that. So you're really only able to see 10 feet out from where you currently are.
No, that's exactly it. It's like if they've gone into the darkness, there's no point because they can see whereas I can't. And I'm like, cool, I'll just keep things light here.
No, that makes sense. Okay. All right, so that's fine. So you kind of holding up that the firebolt cantrip as best you can, trying to maintain the radius so that you're able to see at least a little bit into the tunnel. So the rest of you who do not have dark vision waiting at the end of the tunnel, you can see 10 feet ahead from where Margot currently is. So really only just into the entrance of the other area. You kind of see Phelan and Les just walk into darkness, and then eventually they're out of sight completely.
Disappear into shadow.
Yeah. All right, so with you two heading a little bit further down, you get about halfway down the tunnel. You just continuing to walk.
Yeah, I think so. Just very stealthily, kind of moving forward and trying to look around the corner and stuff, right, Phelan?
I'm gonna try and go to the corner as well, and just kind of hide there and try and peek around the corner and see what's going on.
Okay. All right. So you guys push forward a little bit further. You start to get to about there or so. A little bit further in, and then it's at this point I'll get you guys so as you're kind of looking into the room a little bit further, because you're able to just start to make out a little bit more of the room.
I also like making out. Very nice.
It's our time, Phelan.
You're able to make out. Roll to make out.
Danger to everyone.
Nothing will save us except our passionate romance right now.
So you're able to kind of see about that into the room. However, at this point, you two, having pushed on a little bit further ahead, you start to hear a little bit of low rumbling until eventually, rapidly, a creature darts into view. And I need both of you guys to go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw for me.
What? Even though we were so stealthy?
Failing on a 9. You on a 14 was also a failure.
What?
Yeah.
Phelan, your farting got us killed.
Okay, but like you're not
Maybe
wrong.
Phelan's lactose intolerant.
So I need both of you guys to make a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
Maybe it was too much sharp cheddar, or maybe it was a pepper jack.
That's a 12.
Yeah.
That is a 15 for me, son.
15. Alrighty, so you do both succeed.
Oh yeah, baby.
As you see this creature kind of begin to make its way forward, and you see not rotten, but very darkened, blackened, ashy, what would be fur, but is essentially skin on this dog-like entity. Large yellowed teeth with a gullet of flame as it and releases a flame strike essentially towards you in a large cone, filling the entirety of the cavern. You both take. I'm gonna need to roll more of these.
No, we don't both take, because I have things that I can do.
Hell yeah.
Okay, what things can
For
you do?
I am Les Paul and I accomplish stuff.
I want to. So this flame is just kind of this weird, creepy, undead lizard thing just popped in the corner, went bah, and just shot fire at both me and Phelan.
It's a four-legged entity. It's very much like a dog, but with ashen, burning fur and skin, and then like kind of molten drips of red that seem to drop off of it onto the ground and kind of hiss against the ground. And then it.
So this is like a
that.
blood-borne demon dog thing.
One might say it would be a hound from hell.
Oh no!
Dexterity saving throw for fire damage. What do you have, Les?
The saving throw, I got 15.
Right, but you said you had something.
Right, so if we're still taking damage even though we saved, I want to use, if I can, use my reaction to do protective field onto Phelan.
Okay, what does protective field do?
So, protective field, when you or another creature you can see within 30 feet of you takes damage, you can use your reaction to expend 1 psionic energy die, roll the die, reduce the damage taken by the number rolled, plus my intelligence modifier.
Alrighty.
So -3.
I am a smart baby.
Alright, so the damage was relatively low on that one, so that's only 18 points of damage.
Is that cut in half?
Halved to 9 because you succeeded on the save.
Oh, thank God.
So go ahead and roll the die and add your intelligence modifier and reduce
So
the
as soon
damage
as
to
that
Phelan.
flame comes out, they go, fill in the cup! And then just like extend my hand, and this like energy force field just comes up in front of him as the flames just kind of curl around him and hopefully don't touch him.
All right.
Fuck. Well, that was a 1 on that die, plus 3, so 4
Okay.
damage saved.
So Phelan, you end up taking 5 points of fire damage.
Oh, baby.
Wait, but oh no, you get that at level 5. Never mind. Yeah,
I was
one
trying
more
to
level.
see if
One
I
more level. But yeah, so Phelan, you take 5 points of fire damage. Les, you take 9 points of fire damage as this creature comes around the corner and just releases this massive torrent of flame, burning the walls. Some of the beams catch on fire for a second or two. A little bit of the netting above is disturbed, and some of the dirt and dust trickles down on top of you. At this point, I need all of you guys to go ahead and roll initiative for me.
Yeah, let's do
They
it.
could obviously see
Finally!
behind us, right?
Yeah, they didn't see anything, but they heard, and then the whole tunnel just went whoosh and lit bright.
Guys, I think the jig is up!
All
It's
right.
funny how the two of us just like leave the group like, we'll dart ahead. We got this. We'll be right back. Like, not even a
30
minute.
2
seconds
seconds.
Oh, are y'all seeing my rolls now in Roll20?
Get a 15. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, cool. Well, I got a 14 because I clicked it twice. I didn't realize it was sending them. I was trying to click it, and I heard the beep, and I was like, what the hell? So I clicked it again, and then I realized, oh, I'm connected because I've got the Beyond 20 thing.
Isn't the Beyond 20 thing kind of freaky? That's
Yeah.
why I kept clicking it multiple times, because it didn't feel like I did anything.
Yeah, because it doesn't roll.
Mhm. I got a 12.
You got a 12. Okay.
21, baby.
Oh my
17.
god, it's my first time running combat with you guys. I'm so excited.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm so excited you're doing this, guy.
All right, so
This campaign
initiatives
is over.
25 to 20.
21, baby.
21, nice. All right, 20 to 15.
19,
17.
baby.
Yeah.
Les.
17.
17, Margot. Okay, 15 to 10.
I got a 14.
14 for
12.
Nebula and a 12 for Jules. Very nice. Good initiatives,
Oh,
guys.
did I get given a D4 of inspiration? Is that the nonsense I see in chat?
The nonsense.
You did. Nebula Saint gave you a D4. I am not allowing that.
The betrayer
You can't use
decided
your own
to-
D4s for your own campaign.
Yeah.
All right. 12 for Jules. Galahad, what'd you get?
I got a 19 as well.
Oh, you got a 19 as well? Damn,
Which
you guys
shouldn't
did
have been
good.
legal because paladins and clerics aren't allowed to roll that high, but I'm taking it.
Apparently not, but whatever. At least
Me and Saint are
you know
tied.
what? You already got people to heal, so you're allowed to. All right, so Phelan, Les, Galahad, Margot, Nebula, Jules. Beauty.
Les Paul. I'm
Yeah, I
assuming
got
has
a
more
19
than-
as well. Did you hear that, Jordan?
Yeah, I got that one.
Okay.
I was gonna say Les Paul. I'm assuming your dex is higher than +0.
Yes.
Congrats,
It
you're
is.
going first.
Europe just got. Oh, sorry. Hang on. Lance just got that.
Bro,
sorry,
did you
folks. We'll chat did, so I was reading what chat had said, and then I corrected it all at once. Chat. There is no such inspiration. That D4 might be
There is
wasted.
no
now.
war in Bossing, so.
Yeah.
There is no
Ghostbusters
war
once
in
once said, "There is no Europe, only land."
There is no Europe, only lands.
All right. There we go. Ender.
Murphy is dead.
Lance.
Dice Knight killed him.
That's
Yeah.
right.
All right, perfect. So with that, to start off the round, Phelan acting first as this massive hell-like entity step forward, paws burning on the ground, little bits of smoke rising, curling up off the dust. The flame unleashed onto you, and Les is now standing in the hallway and just kind of baring its teeth, looking at you. What is it you would like to do?
I am staying where I am at because I have wonderful range as a bugbear. Since I can attack from 10 feet, or yeah, my attacks are 5 feet greater than normal, so 10 feet away. I'm gonna go ahead and use both my action and bonus action to attack with my Shaman's Claw.
Awesome.
See if that works.
All right, go and make your first
So I'm
attack.
gonna try and make 2 slashes with it, and the first being, ooh, very nice, a 17 plus 6 for a 23.
23 definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Heck yeah. All right, 1d4 plus 4 for 7 points
7?
of damage.
Alrighty.
That's my
47.
first slash. And I'm gonna, as Les Paul drops his psionic shield for me, I'm gonna yell "thank you" and slash it up with my first one, and bring my hand back down for the second with 11 to hit.
11 misses.
Ooh.
All right, so
Okay.
your first strike, you're
Dominant.
taking the Shaman's Claw from that range, you're reaching forward, kind of grabbing the top of the head, and then just slashing across the face. Some of the spittle and flame erupting out of the mouth of the dog as the creature recoils. Does seem to take the damage on the first one, but the second is getting used to your pattern of movement, and it breaks the grip on your hand, and then is able to duck under the second blow.
Dang. Okay. Yeah, that's my turn.
All right, do you want to move anywhere?
You know what? I'm gonna. Yes, I am, because the others are not gonna be able to make it around me. I'm gonna take a step.
Just to clarify,
Back
you can
here.
move through allies' spaces. You can't move through
Okay.
enemies' spaces.
Okay, cool. I am gonna go ahead then and still then stay here.
Yep.
I'll stay where I'm at.
Stay where you are. Okay, so kind of block
Walk
off the
up,
tunnel, prevent the creature from allowing access to your friends. Alrighty.
Yes.
Good to go there. So that's Phelan done. Les and Galahad, you two are set to move simultaneously. You guys get to pick the order you move in. Who wants to go first?
Les goes first.
Les goes
I'm
first.
going to be going first here.
Alrighty, so Les, you've got this hound-like creature in front of you. Phelan, 2 slashes, one of them impacting against it. What would you like to do?
All right, I'm going to go right up to this bitch. After getting kind of blown back a little bit from the flame, able to put up that protective shield, that protective force around Phelan as he goes up and hits it with the Shaman's Claw, steps back a bit. I'm gonna take that cue and be like, my turn, big boy. Take out the trident, just dart right straight ahead.
Okay.
So I am going to first try to hit it with my trident.
Go make your attack.
Bonk it, bro.
So yeah, that's gonna be 16 plus 5 to hit.
21 will definitely hit.
I am then going to use one of my psionic die to empower my trident hit with a psionic strike.
Absolutely.
So for the damage, it's going to add another 1d6 plus 3 force damage to the damage that I roll for the trident. So
Nice.
for the trident, it's going to be 10 points of piercing damage,
Mhm.
plus with the psionic strike, that's going to be another 8 points of force damage.
Damn, 18 points.
I am then going to, since I have 2-weapon fighting, I'm going to use a second attack with a dagger on my side to try to strike with.
Are you not using the shield?
I use my bonus action to do a reaction shield. It's like the spell shield, but it's a feature.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So it's not like a spell, it's like a reaction, like it blocked it, it reduced the damage, and then it's gone. It's not up for the whole
Oh,
thing.
I think
Right,
he was
sorry,
asking
I
if
thought you
were
meant
wearing a shield.
aren't you using a physical shield in your offhand?
Oh.
Because I thought you were just
Right,
using
right.
the trident.
No, I gotta try it in a
Yeah,
shield. That's
yeah, you got to try it in a shield, so you can't use the 2-hand feature unless you're
Okay.
wielding 2 weapons.
Gotcha. Okay, so then I will just do that then. Hit that strike.
You do have a bonus action that you could use if you wanted to.
Bonus action. The only bonus action I have is to regain another expended psionic die, which I'm not going to use just yet.
Okay. All right, so rushing in, Les taking the trident, kind of blocking with the shield as the creature's teeth are gnashing. You just punt it out of the way, take the trident right into the side, and then as it kind of digs into the side of the chest of the creature, you just whoosh, and push it a little bit further and fail. And you see kind of beside him that the blade almost seems, or the tips of the trident almost seem to grow in size, as if they're vibrating inside the creature. And then he rips it backwards out, and then a series of ichor and what would be blood, but is just kind of black, thick, heavy, hot liquid impacts against the ground. Steam starts rising off, smoke from the walls, as Les is now holding this black ichor stained trident in one hand.
That's badass.
All right, so
Hell
Les, you're staying
yeah.
defensive right there.
Mm.
Beauty. All right, so since you guys have moved up a little bit, I'll go ahead and reveal a little bit more of the map for you. All right.
I'm also about to move up, so you want me to just position myself?
Yeah, Galahad, you can go ahead and start making your turn as I'm revealing this.
Sweet. All right. I'm just because I got nothing I can do from that far away, so I'm gonna dash and put myself right on the flank of this Hellhound, right in the middle of the room.
Alrighty.
It's 55 feet of my 60 movements. Oh no!
The thing is that you, given the fact that you do not have vision, you're not able to see any of what's beyond that. That's just what Les is able to see. Is he's kind of cutting the corner right there.
Can I don't know. This is
You could alert him. We'll say.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I'm seeing that beside that thing when I struck it, be like, "There's more than one! There's more than one!"
I also will say that my detect magic is still up. I don't know if that pings Hellhound or anything, but like if there's anything
That
that
is a
I
good
can
question.
see.
Detect magic. You sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. You can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible
check this
creature
out,
or
right? The
object.
wording on detect magic is you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic.
Yeah.
Like what? That's
So-
a weird.
You can sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you.
Yeah.
You do not sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you, even being directly adjacent to this creature. They do not seem to be giving off a magical aura.
No Walker's mate.
However,
Uh-oh.
with detect magic up, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, you do sense the presence of magic. You cannot see it, but you can sense it, that there is something in the far corner. If you continued moving in a straight line, I'm just going to reveal this just for sake of ease. Where that rubble is, right in this area here, you get the feeling that there is something magical in and around that area. You don't know what it is because you haven't used an action to see it, but the detect magic is enough to give you the sense that something is there.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Understood. Thank you.
Good to know.
I didn't take the attack action on my turn, so I can't use anything else.
Correct. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom out a little so chat can see a bit more of this. Actually, you know what? Hey chat, let's put you guys into the combat screen because that's more fun. There we go. Beautiful.
Yep, nothing else I can really do, so for now I'm just going to bang on my shield with my sword to try and get these Hellhounds' attention.
Alright, so try and draw attention to yourself as best you can. As one of them, the one that Les just impaled, you can see it's already definitely looking hurt. You can see it's kind of limping off to the side a little as it turns towards you and begins snarling, and some of the red and black begins dripping out of its mouth. Alright, that's going to be his turn. On to Margot.
Margot can't see shit.
Correct.
So at this point, I am very useless.
You saw the creature unleash flame, and then you began to hear the sounds of clashing metal on bone and the kind of yelps of a creature being injured. Excuse me. Go ahead.
Margot realizing that while she could hurl, that firebolt down the hallway, not knowing where her teammates are, there's a good chance she could hit them. Oh boy. I feel like at this point she'd be relying on her teammates to tell her where to aim. She'd be like just yelling in down the hallway, like, where should I hit?
And with them being in combat, not really able to get out of the way without line of sight, there isn't really anything that you can shoot per se. You'd have to get into a visible range or find a way to make enough light to be able to see.
Oh boy. So Margot is going to move like halfway down, like right there.
Okay.
Oh
so
boy.
That's your full movement. You still technically have that little bit of light up, so you can see, 2 squares around you, but it's not enough to see down the hall.
I think Margot's just gonna take a pot shot and just aim down. And sorry, I imagine this would be at disadvantage. So I guess she's just gonna roll to hit at disadvantage.
With this, it's not even about disadvantage. Let me just double check. So it's what you're trying to use firebolt.
Yeah, she's gonna lob that firebolt that she had readied.
Make a ranged spell attack against the target. You cannot see the target. I'll
Yeah,
get you to roll at disadvantage because you're just throwing it down the hallway, hoping for the best.
13. 9.
9. Okay. Roll another d20 for me and add your spellcasting modifier.
18.
18. Les, what is your AC?
Fuck off. 17.
17. So Margot's just like, I don't know what I'm doing, and then throw the firebolt down the hallway, and you're, what? You turn around, and you do not jump out of the way in time as you see this thing hurtling towards you, and you just, oh shit, the creature on one side, this firebolt coming in from the side. Margot, I need you to roll damage on that.
I'm gonna use my reaction to do another sonic shield if it's gonna hit me for that match. Because it's like a D10, right?
It's 1d10, yeah.
I'm gonna use my shield to be like, what the fuck?
Well, here's the thing. It could be a really low amount of damage. Maybe just this once it might work.
I got 5 uses of it, and I'm just like, we're low level. I don't want to take any fucking damage I don't need to be taking.
Saint, why did you talk? It's a 9.
I knew it.
I'm so glad I used that fucking thing.
All right.
No, literally, I was like, is that a 6? And then I saw the little dot, and I'm like, nope.
So I'm gonna roll to see how much damage I reduce.
Correct.
Come on,
I am the dice prophet.
Come on, 6. It's a 3, so altogether 6. I
right.
only take.
So you take 3
damage.
points of damage as Margot just kind of hurls this firebolt down, and Margot, you're able to track it and watch it go down. You're kind of hopeful, and then you see it closing in on Les, and you're like, Les, no! And then he just turns at the last second and just catches a face full of fire as it lights up, and he's at the last second able to throw up a shield, and it just kind of singes a little bit of the beard.
Sorry for the fish fry.
Fuck!
Appropriate response.
Perfect. All right, so with that, Margot, you've used your action and your movement. You have a bonus action left if there's anything you can do.
At this point, oh gosh, seeing that Margot has messed up horribly with her aim, she's just gonna move up closer.
You have no more
And
movement left.
I don't. Oh, wait.
You used your full 30
30?
feet to get there.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, Nikes. Cool. Well, yeah, there is not a lot I can do except, I suppose, ready another firebolt.
All right, so kind of stepping back and just feeling like a little bit distraught at the fact that you just hurtled firebolt. You didn't even know where Les was. That's the thing, is he might have moved from where he was. You thought maybe you had line of sight, but unfortunately just impacting, kind of singeing the beard a little, you didn't hit Les for a couple of points. So Margot's turn wrapped up. We are now on to Nebula.
Don't fucking hit me!
So the torch is on the ground behind me, right?
Correct. The torch is on the ground about 30 feet behind you. Because
Behind Nebula?
Yeah, because it's further down the hallway. You purposely set it down so that it was
Yeah.
just giving you enough light to see around the corner.
Okay.
So you could use an action to strike another one, or obviously use your movement to go down and pick up that other one as a free action.
Okay. What Nebula's going to do instead is Nebula is going to advance forward. How much can I see forward? How far could Nebula see?
Right now, you can't see at all. With Margot having dropped that cantrip, there are no light sources ahead. Galahad is way too far out of your range to be able to see the beacon on his chest either. You're essentially blind in the hallway.
Okay. So then what Nebula's going to do is he's going to cast a first level spell.
Okay.
And he's going to call out to everyone, we need light! And he's going to cast protection from good and evil on himself.
Okay.
And as he does this, you're going to watch his... Jules would be the only one close enough to see, but Nebula's eyes shift, and the constellations on him start to begin turning and sort of making a unique symbol that goes all the way down his body as he prepares something, as he prepares to do something else in a moment. But as he's used his action for this, what does it take me to pull stuff out of my bag? I can't use it without an action, but what would it take me to like gather items?
What is it you're trying to gather?
I'm trying to grab the oil and the torches out of my bag.
Okay, I would say it's your bonus action to pull those out of your bag, and then that would allow you to use a bonus action next turn to light them instead of having to use a full action of grab and light.
Cool. So Nebula's going to quickly protect himself from good and evil, grab oil and torches, as many as he can get his hands on out of his bag, and he's going to rush his 30 feet down the hallway.
Okay. I'll say you would be able to get 2 torches and the oil out of your bag.
Okay.
That's about all you could really hold without getting encumbered with your arms.
Okay.
All right, 30 feet down. There you go. Beautiful. All right, so Nebula's full turn, casting protection from evil and good on himself. Jules, you see this directly beside you as Nebula almost seems to have a faint, like, line of white shimmering aura around himself as he begins making his way down the hallway, pulling out torches and oil as he goes. And then we come to the first hound, the one directly beside Les. So,
Damn it.
first things first. It does not get its flame breath
Y'all,
back.
we gotta get better with map placement of our peoples. Get out of the way of each other's attacks.
I mean,
So-
it's like a two-person wide corridor. There's not much you really can
It's
do.
designed to be a thing
Yeah, I
where
know.
if you stealth high enough, you could make it into the room. If you couldn't, it becomes a bottleneck. So the creature does not get its flame breath back. Lucky for you guys.
Oh, God.
However, it is adjacent to two creatures. Less you having impacted it directly, it sees you as the largest current threat, blocking some of
I
the damage.
am the biggest threat.
So it's going to go ahead and make an attack against you. It's going to make a bite attack against you. That is... Ooh, that's not good. That's an 8 to hit.
Miss, motherfucker!
Miss. Alrighty, so as it kind of rears up and badly wounded by that trident that you had shoved into its gut, ripping out, kind of knocking it off balance, it goes for a leap and just gnashes its teeth and claws against your shield before landing down on the ground again, unable to do anything else. However, next up we come to Hellhound number 2.
No, leave me alone.
Electric Boogaloo.
It,
And then Hellhound number 3, and then number 4, and then 7.
I'm not
You're gonna love
Kevin.
Hellhound 53.
All with the leash. led
However,
by-
Hellhound number 2, having a ridiculous 50 feet of movement, is going to go ahead and slide all the way down past Galahad and into combat with Les. And
Hey!
with this, is going to go ahead and do the same thing, kind of rear back and unleash its flame. By the way, where's Phelan? Oh, never mind.
Phelan's behind me.
Yeah, you're here, right?
He's in stealth, dude.
All right, so this one is going to go ahead and, because it matters, this one is going to go ahead and unleash
wait.
its flame breath upon you guys.
Wait,
Yeah, put
I
yourself
will
where
say
you
I
want to be.
didn't
I don't like.
move now
on
that
the
I
ma-
think about
my
it.
maps
I
were showing
was
two
right
different
there.
things. So put yourself where you want to
Okay.
be.
Yep, I was right there. I hadn't moved from earlier.
Okay. All right, so it too is going to rear back and unleash that flame breath as it the whole entire hallway lights up. 15-foot radius, stopping just short of where Nebula is. I need Les and Phelan again to make dexterity saving throws for me.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my shield once more.
Okay. You've already used a
8.
reaction this turn. You cannot use another one.
Oh, I did?
Yep.
Oh,
You
right.
used it
for
on
the
yourself
Margo thing.
when Margot hit you.
Crud.
So
I got a 24.
24 is a
I
success.
hope you guys like hot dogs.
I got
Mark-
7.
A 7. All right, a 7 is a failure, but a 20 whatever is a success. So,
Hang on, I'm just rolling 1d4 psychic damage. Hang on.
oh my god.
That's a 4.
Oh my god, my rolls are so bad.
Yes!
You take 13 points of fire damage on a
Oof.
fail. Fail and you take 6 on a success.
Huh,
The-
I'm getting so hurt.
Well,
The average for this is 21. I rolled 13. So, yeah. So as it kind of rears back and this very similar breath of gets unleashed and the flames immediately light up, and Margot and Nebula, for the first time, again, you guys are able to get the full scene of what's going on, and you see two of these hellish entities, these hellhounds, directly adjacent to where Les is, and between Les and Galahad, kind of blocking the path further down the tunnel. Les and Phelan badly now getting burned from the flame breath, as one of them is looking very hurt, however.
So Margot sees that these hellhounds are in fact creating fire, yes? Like
Yes.
100% confirmed.
Correct.
For once, Margot looks and she sees fire in the distance, and then you see like a smile of like confidence like come over her face.
Alrighty. Good to know. So that's going to be
No one sees it though.
the creature's turn. Next up is Jules.
Yes.
Last order. What are you doing?
Help!
Yeah, she's just gonna make her as far as she can and cast Armor of Agathis on herself, and that's gonna be her turn. 'Cause there's...
Alrighty.
Well, no,
No.
wait. Nope.
No?
No, I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to cast Vicious Mockery on this guy right here, the one on the bottom end.
Okay.
So he has to make a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw.
15 Wisdom save. That is a natural 7, which I do not believe is going to be good enough. No, that is an 8.
Good, perfect. He's going to take a D4 of psychic damage. That is not the right website.
Can you call him a hot dog? Is that it?
Hot dog.
Hot dog.
Hot dog.
That is 4 psychic damage. Let me just double check if I add any sort of modifier to that.
You don't. It's just the.
Nope,
the
I
straight
don't.
roll.
Yep, and he'll have disadvantage on his next attack. So he takes 4
Beautiful.
damage, disadvantage.
4 damage, and you just said you did it on the bottom one?
Yeah, the bottom one.
Okay, all right, 4 points of psychic damage. So go ahead and describe your vicious mockery for me.
Jules is just gonna run forward and stop whipping her arms through the air, settling at about this, and say, "Heal," to
creature just
the
kind
dog in order to
aiming its
cast
its next bite towards Les, seeing the creatures all around it, and then off in the distance just hearing heal, and all of you just kind of hear the reverberation of the sound run down the hallway until it impacts against the creature and starts whimpering a little bit,
And it heals to
In
full
the
health.
arms of
and
an
it
angel
just
plays in the
instinctively
background.
kind of drops part of its back hind leg before standing up again and snarling, but definitely looking a bit dazed. Nicely done. Now, bottom of the round.
No. No!
As the third one comes into view, directly adjacent, it's seeing Les and Phelan badly wounded already. It's going to go ahead and also unleash its fire breath against you too.
Oh my
for
god,
fuck's
I'm
sake.
standing right there. and it's just like,
So I need you two to both go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Oh boy.
Hey, another 24.
24 is a success.
These roll 20 dice are wild. Or not roll 20, but.
Fuck. Dex saving throw.
Yes.
I was joking about the fish fry.
12.
12 is a success, exactly.
Oh,
It is a
Jesus
DC
Christ.
12. So you take. That's a little better. That's a lot
Better?
You take 24 halved to 12. So you take 12 points of fire damage.
Holy shit.
I'm at 1 HP.
I'm at 4. Okay, you're doing much worse.
So the third one coming into view, as all of you now are looking down the hallway and realizing, oh shit. And Galahad, you are suddenly cut off from your allies on the other side of these entities. As it rears back and very similar flame comes down the hallway, lighting Phelan and Les, dropping to one knee, both of you guys badly injured, but the creature's breath seeming to have been extinguished and some of that red fire in their upper throat kind of abating a little bit and going down just a darkened crimson. So that is the bottom of the round. Back to the top. Phelan, you're up. You've got 3
Okay.
creatures in front of you, Les beside you, and Galahad on the other side.
Kill this fucking thing!
Absolutely terrible. My first thing is question for you, Jordy.
Yes.
Do you count healing potions as an action or bonus action?
Also, usually for me, it's an action up until level 4. When you get the chance to take your first feat, I then consider it Rapid Drinker. It's a bonus action.
Okay, so then now I can do a bonus action. Thank goodness.
Correct.
I will go ahead and use my bonus action then to chug my 1 healing potion.
All right.
Because
that shit, I mean.
God knows I need that. All right, and it is a regular healing potion, so that will be 1d4 or 2d4 plus 2.
Correct.
All right, come on, baby. Boom. Oh God, that is 7 points of healing.
Okay.
I hate it here. I rolled a 4 and a 1. Ah!
That is average.
It's okay. All right, and yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's fine.
And I'm gonna go ahead and use my action to hit with a short sword. So I'm gonna pull my short sword and try and hit with that, and
This one.
I'm gonna try and hit the one that I'd hit earlier. So the one in front of in front of, which one is it? The one right in front of me?
Les.
The
No.
one you hit before was the
Was
one
that
in
the
front of Les.
The one in front of Les?
The
Is that
weakest
one?
one.
Is that the one?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, that's the one. Yes, I'm gonna go ahead and try and do that. And since Les is in front of it, I believe I would have sneak attack if I hit.
You
So we
absolutely
shall
will.
see. Now, let's see if it
Put it
does
on
hit.
blast.
Please, short sword. It does not hit with a natural 1.
Oh no!
So
So
6 plus
Phelan,
7.
with all the flame ripping down the hallway, the tips of your fur beginning to singe a little, you instinctively kind of take a bit of a shuffle step back and then just, no, I've got to do this, and you reach forward and you try to get a blow, but less badly wounded. You're making sure that you don't impact against him. You're just coming up a little short, unable to hit the creature.
Okay. All right. That's my turn. That's both. Well, no, it's not. It doesn't matter. That's my turn. Yeah, I can't move far enough from it. Well,
You can move past your allies if you wanted to.
yeah. And I'm going to go ahead and move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Y'all got this.
Alrighty. So moving past everybody, just kind of getting into the back and just patting some of the flames out. Nebula and Jules, you kind of feel Phelan moving past you guys. Alright, so that's going to be Phelan's
I'll go
turn.
burn them.
Margot burn. Alright, so that's going to be Phelan's turn. Next up we come to Les and Galahad moving simultaneously. Who wants to go first?
I'm gonna be going again.
Sorry, did anyone hear that?
Yeah, that was a good
Correct.
pop.
Jesus
That was like a
Christ.
shotgun loading. It went both sides. Oh, you're first.
Okay. Two-weapon fighting doesn't include headbutts or unarmed strikes, does it? It's
No,
melee.
it's two
like
weapons, on
Okay.
hand, off hand.
Bonus action. Second wind.
Yep.
Needs fucking hailing. That's a 9 plus 4. Thank the fucking Lord.
13.
So,
All right, not bad. Undoing the
Yeah.
entirety of that
Cool.
last flame.
let's
go. Damn, making your exact save to stay up, and then
Fucking
healing
hell,
almost the full
man.
amount.
One away. Okay, so bonus action to do that.
Yeah.
I am then going to strike at this weak fuck-ass dog.
Definitely looking hurt after your
Right.
first series of attacks. Go and make the attack.
Oh no. It's a 10.
10 misses, unfortunately. So you kind of healing yourself, taking a step back, and just internally just whoosh, little bit of radiant energy kind of coming out from your hand as you place it against your chest, and then taking.
Action surge. Gonna go again.
All right, action surge again.
I'm gonna try to fucking hit it again.
Go for it. So the first one swinging wide, kind of ducking underneath as it rears its paws up, and you just scrape against the ground. Second attack.
That's better. 15.
15 just hits.
Okay. I am gonna use my last psionic energy to do another d6 of damage.
Go for it.
So this is going to be a 1. So 6 points of piercing with the trident, then with the extra force damage, that is 6.
All right, so 12 damage in total. So Les, you kind of reaching
Yes.
forward and just missing on the first strike and just getting frustrated, but before its paws are even able to land, you just rip the trident into your shield hand and just jam it down into the top of the neck, straight through as the neck kind of starts to flop a little bit, and as you rip it back out, the creature's head is definitely bobbling. It is kind of falling, shifting from side to side as it looks very badly injured, but not quite enough to drop it.
Fuck! With my action surge, do I get my bonus action back
No,
or just the
you
action?
get an extra action.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's next level when action surge becomes crazy, because then it's 4 attacks in a turn.
Am I allowed to move in this area here?
You can move in that area. You
against the
will
wall.
take 1 attack of opportunity from the creature as you move out of its range.
Even though I'm still in its 5 feet of
The
range?
other
The one
at the bottom.
diagonal to you.
Oh, fuck. You know what? Fine. I just don't want to be in that bottleneck anymore.
All right, so it's going to go ahead and make an attack of opportunity. It does have advantage because it has pack tactics.
Tactics.
That is going to be an 18 to hit.
Oh,
much?
God.
18.
Yeah, it hits.
18 hits. All right, so that's going to be...
It's good knowing you, buddy.
12 plus 3. You take 15 points of fire damage. Or, sorry. Sorry. It is 7 points of piercing damage and 8 points of fire damage.
I'm down.
as the bite reaches out. So you technically don't even move. You're just unconscious in your space as you attempted to move.
Fuck.
Alrighty, so Les, you kind of just beginning to move out of the way. The creature, just seeing that you're going to move, lashes out and grabs onto your foot and just holds you in place. And then the flames creep up the side of your leg as you and then fall over onto the ground, currently unconscious. Les is unconscious.
He's bad.
Alrighty, so that's Les's turn. Saint Galahad. You see Les fall just on the other side of one of those creatures. What would you like to do?
I'm a cop in this shit. I'm Hellhound directly in front of me, between me and the party. I'm taking a hit. It's a fucking natural 20. I'm deleting this fucking Hellhound from existence.
All right.
Go.
Delete it, bro.
So,
All right.
what would you like to unleash?
This is a divine smite.
No,
Which is going to be
really?
One, it's going to be
On the
an
one that's like
additional
super
3
tight?
for smite, and then I double that, so I'm rolling 8d8.
Yes, you are.
Good job.
So yeah, also because we haven't done combat, the way that I like to do things is the total number of dice you would roll, double that number of dice, and then add your modifiers.
Same.
Crit smite.
That's,
Let's go.
Double the dice, not double the damage.
Correct.
I got double the dice.
Yeah.
I'm at the 8d8 this motherfucker. That's a lot of 7s. Alright,
Yeah.
Put this dog out to pasture, dude.
Don't let this dog have its day.
Old Yeller.
and how much additional damage from just the bonus? I deal 52 points of radiant damage.
So, bringing the creature to negative 11 hit points, you reach up. You're using a longsword?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you, taking your longsword, shield in one hand, kind of blazing against the coals as the creatures begin to turn on you, with Les now being knocked unconscious. The one that grabbed onto his foot, releasing and beginning its turn. You find your point, reach back with the longsword as far as you possibly can, and a full-blown overhead strike, maximum swing distance as the arm comes careening down, slamming the blade into the top of the neck and severing it clean straight through. Not even a break or sound, just a... And then the head just kind of separating from the body, and the creature falls over onto the ground. And as it does, kind of burns away from the outside in, its body kind of crumbling down into ash and dust as the bones themselves beginning to turn black in a series of black and red liquid ichor pulling out onto the ground, steam pulling up as you pull the blade back and then whip it clean so that none of the ichor remains on the blade. The creature is...
And as
removed.
I hold up the blade, still brimming with divine energy, I thrust it into the air and it just scatters in a cloud of sparks. And everyone within 30 feet of me who's an ally can have 13.
Damn.
Ha ha!
Can have
Only
How much?
one person.
What did you get? What happened?
So I have my channel divinity for the Oath of Glory Paladin is Inspiring Smite. Immediately after I deal damage to a creature with a Divine Smite feature, I can distribute 2d8 plus Paladin level temporary hit points to any and all creatures within 30 feet of my choice, including myself.
Wait.
So he just gave less.
What is this called? Channel Divinity?
Channel Divinity Inspiring Smite. It's the Oath of Glory.
And I'm within 30 feet.
Yes, you are. Immediately after you deal damage to a creature with your Divine Smite, you can use your Channel Divinity as a bonus action and distribute temporary hit points to creatures of your choice within 30 feet of you, which can include you. Total number of temporary hit points equals 2d8 plus your level in this class. So you said that was 13?
Total, yeah.
Divided among the chosen creatures however you like.
Help me!
Yeah, it's
However you like to. Fuck it. Alright, it all goes to Les then.
cool.
Is it temp HP able to go to somebody who's unconscious?
That's what I'm checking
and
right now.
if so, does
Temporary
it wake
hit
them
points
back
will
up?
not allow you to become conscious at 0 hit points.
Damn it!
Oh,
But do
seriously?
they still
There is
go?
no
Do they
rule that
still
prevents
go?
an unconscious creature from gaining temporary hit points. However,
So basically, what we're saying is that as long as Les gets up, then he'll have the
then
temporary
he'll
hit
have the
point.
temporary hit points. Correct.
Also,
So
those should
otherwise-
protect him from being attacked
And they
and
will.
getting instant zeros.
Correct, because the way that it would
Done.
work is that while you're at 0 hit points, damage that you would take would then deal failed death saving throws. But in this case, it's still a crit because he's still unconscious, but it's first going to have to deplete that pool of 13 before it starts taking death saving throws.
I'm just a hurt fish boy lying on the ground.
All right, so you're giving all 13 to Les?
All 13 to Les in case he gets chomped.
Perfect.
Thank you.
I think he's the only one who's taken damage out of you guys anyway, so probably a safe bet.
Fish body in front of the fire.
All right, so with Les at 13 temporary hit points, but still unconscious on death saving throws, that is Les and Galahad's combined turn. Next, we come to Margot. So Margot,
Nebula says to Margot immediately, "How good's your aim?"
I'm less worried about aim now.
Okay.
No,
So-
lifeless on the ground.
So you
'Cause here's
still
the
don't have
thing.
any light source.
no, that's why Nebula's asking, as he has a bottle of oil in his hand. But go ahead.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
At this point, Margot knows they're in front of her.
Correct.
So really, the thing about it though is, how well does fire do against fire? Margot's not thinking about using fire right now.
Okay.
Margot is going to charge forward and be like, all right, you want to play this game? And she's just going to run right up to Les's unconscious body.
But you just run over me like.
No, she's going to run over, see his unconscious body, and at this point, is she within, like, visible, like she can see both of the Hellhounds?
No, you have no light source. You can't see anything.
It's dark all around.
It is dark all around until you have some kind of a light source.
So can I see Les in front of me right now?
You can feel Les in front of you, but you can't see him. You're in a pitch black room and just kind of fumbling around, like you're feeling the walls, carefully moving forward, and then you kind of like move forward just enough where your foot hits against something on the ground, and you hear Les just kind of go,
Was I able? Okay, so I feel Les. Was I able to see Galahad's attack? With the
you weren't able to see Galahad's attack. You were seeing a little bit of the light off of his blade after doing so, where you saw that the two creatures are in a line and Les was on the ground.
So at that point, Margot's gonna aim roughly around Galahad and just basically like take a pot shot and use a second level shatter.
Second level shatter?
A shatter.
Okay.
Okay.
Because Margot sees Galahad and knows Galahad can take it, so she just says, "I'm sorry about this," and she's gonna try to aim where Galahad is, and use a second level shatter.
You're aiming where Galahad is?
Yeah, because I know he can take it.
Okay.
You could aim like away from him though. You don't. It's a radius.
Well, she can't see though.
I can't see
really
that.
see.
All I'm aiming for is where I know somebody is, and obviously Galahad's in the middle of something, so I'm doing a second level shatter right where Galahad is.
Les Paul, you're gonna get hit, baby.
No, it's a 10 level, so he's out of
10.
range.
If it's
10-foot
where
radius.
Galahad is, that is a 10-foot radius.
That is, I will be in that radius.
He
if you
will be
center
in
it
that
on
radius.
Oh, he would? Oh, fuck. No,
That's
I can't.
why I'm confirming this.
No, I
I'm
can't.
giving you a chance.
I wanted to play in this campaign.
Haley has leftover resentment from campaign 1 from when you were
No, I
DM.
can't. Fuck, what can I do?
If you guys
I mean, at this point, I suppose the best thing that I can do is just create a source of light.
You could do
So, literally, I guess...
Nebula was sorry, Lance was trying to say something real quick, and then
Yeah, if we go negative our hit points, we're dead.
Correct.
Yeah, no, I can't
Les
do
has
that.
negative
So if
40,
he's
so...
So if he's on the ground, if I
Yes.
shoot a firebolt directly ahead,
You-
I won't hit him.
Correct, because you can feel him. You're not going to go like, firebolt, straight down.
Yeah. I can't.
That one.
No, on a nat 1, even I'm not that
Okay,
mean.
so at this point, I'm less worried. I know he's down below me. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, you're essentially
down on the
like,
ground.
you've got a hand on his chest, and you're like, stay still for me. And then you like use that to prop up your other hand so you know it's not
All
going to hit
right,
him.
so at this point, Margot is just like, let there be light, and cast Burning Hands directly in front of her, like above Les.
Burning Hands affects everything where your hand is.
No, okay, Les, can I just trample you? You are so inconveniently dead.
you can stand where people are. Yeah, you can stand where people are. She still
Yeah,
has
and
100 feet of movement.
Yeah,
She can
I
go
still
forward
do.
and back.
Your turn.
Okay, Les, I'm sorry. I'm kicking you out of the way. You're so inconvenient.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah, she can stand where someone stands and then step back. She has 10 feet of movement. She just
As
can't
long as-
stand there.
And in someone else's space, you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Let it happen, Jordy. Let it happen.
Sure. I'd say you could either do that, or
I'm just gonna stand over his dead body.
You-
If Les looks up, he's seeing Margot's ass.
I can't look up. I'm unconscious.
Well, good. Then she'll
You're-
keep her purity.
You're like one of those action
Stay
heroes that
unconscious
make
for the
like a
time being.
one-liner to a dead body, thinking they can hear you.
Okay, so just to clarify, Burning Hands is a 15-foot cone. So from where you are right now,
She can't see though. She wouldn't know.
She
So,
wouldn't
I would not know.
so just cast.
Yeah,
Just cast.
Yeah, I mean, she would just cast.
Fey-like.
Okay, all right, so Saint. No, you know what? Okay, Margot, make an intelligence check for me.
intelligence.
Yeah, roll a
Oh,
d20, add your intelligence modifier.
Okay,
I'm gonna see if you can cut this corner.
14.
14. Okay, so we'll say that's high enough that you're able to know. You knew where Saint was. You're standing on less. You know where they are. You think that this is gonna miss him. So Saint, you do not need to make a dexterity saving throw. Margot, you take your hands, you cast the burning hand spell, and you see Les kind of reaching up and grabbing your foot as if like trying
Here's
to
the
shove
thing,
himself
Margot was
out of the
fully-
way.
Margot was fully committed to the fact that she was probably gonna burn Galahad.
Okay. Well, it's
I'm never gonna be able to use this feat that I took, am I? I'm just waiting for it. I'm like, I'm ready, and then it's like, nah, I'm avoiding it.
so
No, Margot was fully committing to the fact that if she's gonna go all out for what's in front of her, she was gonna hit Galahad.
So she was going to, but we'll say that you're smart enough to realize that like you're able to cut the corner from where you're standing right now, where you kind of feel around the edge, you start to feel about where it turns a little, and you just go and burn it just to the side where it avoids him.
Okay.
Or
all
do you
right,
want it to hit him? I mean, it is
well,
your
I don't
choice.
want it to hit him.
Okay, so if you don't want it to hit him, you're able to cut the corner on a 14
All right,
intelligence check.
I'll do first level burning hands.
First level burning hands. All right, so you conjure the spell. You kind of stepping over Les, and he's kind of grabbing onto your foot and like pushing himself a little further out of the way, trying to avoid where the flames are going to come from.
I like it better that I'm unconscious and she's just running over my body and I'm ragdolling like GTA 5.
All right, that works too. That works too. So
all right, so at this point it's okay. Must
So-
make a dexterity saving throw of 12.
Correct.
Take 3 or half. Okay.
half fire damage.
That is.
Oh, ridiculous.
Oh lord. That is 4, 5, 7.
7. All
points
right.
of fire damage.
So 7 points of fire damage. So you raise your hands up, you begin to conjure the spell. Saint instinctively, Galahad instinctively, you kind of lean up against the wall, try to get out of the way as best you can, and then Margot, you unleash directly in front
Margot
of you.
wants to do this in a way that, like, if fire is going to give light, to give her teammates a chance to see what's ahead.
Okay. So firing the light as best you can, Galahad, you see the two creatures directly in front of you, burning in this red hot blaze. As it begins to die down a little bit, you see them emerge completely unscathed. They are immune to fire damage. So
God
Margot,
damn it.
you standing in Les's space, I'll say for the turn you're able to stand there, but you're not able to end your turn there because if Les gets up, you get shunted somewhere else. So you can either move to a square adjacent, or you could try to move back, but risk an attack of opportunity from the creature.
No, Margot's not going to move back. She's going to be like, okay, tactic change it is, and then like move over here to the left, like off of Les.
Off of Les. All right. Good to know.
Yeah, basically, I imagine the force of her casting it probably made her like almost like kind of tilt to the side.
Yeah, I kind of imagine that you're like grabbing it and you're just kind of leaning to the left as you see the light, you see where the creatures are just as it begins to burn, and you realize, oh shit, it's about to hit Galahad, and you just reach off to the left and just careen yourself to the point where it just barely misses him. But
I'm gonna have a bunch of dirt footprints all over my armor, just all over my butt.
unfortunately dealing no damage, having absolutely no effect against the creatures. So on from Margot, we come to Nebula. Nebula, you got a good look at where the creatures are currently, between Galahad's sword and between the fire that Margot unleashed upon them, as their flame kind of starts trickling out of their mouths again. So you have a rough idea of where they are, but you do see that Les is unconscious on the ground.
You hear Nebula call out, "Get ready." And he, with a bonus action, as you stated, lights the torches with the oil he's got and strikes those.
Torches both light up 15 feet of bright light, 15 feet of dim light. You can now see everything up until where Saint is, up until where Galahad is. And vice versa, Galahad, you can now see all the way down the hallway back to where you guys came from.
With those in hand, Nebula now bolts, being able to see his targets.
Okay.
And he swivels right around Margot to end up in between the three of them.
Yep.
And he looks at the two Hellhounds straight up and says, by the order of Gravicon. And you see his chest light up as everything that is branded on his chest begins to glow, and the insignia that is his holy symbol gives off light for his channel divinity. The first time any players have seen him activate Abjure the Extraplanar.
Ooh.
So, all aberration celestials, elementals, fays, and fiends within 30 feet of me that can hear me must make a wisdom saving throw DC 14 or be turned for 1 minute.
Okay.
Oh shit.
So DC, what is it? 13?
14.
14 wisdom save.
Wisdom.
Alrighty, 14 wisdom save. 2 creatures left.
Also, sorry, Les, I trampled you for nothing.
I just, again, GTA Ragdog.
First one is a 19, so that's the one on the left. And the second one is an 8.
Hey!
So, while turned, what happens?
While turned, a turned creature can only spend its turns trying to move as far away from you as it can. It can't willingly end its move in a square within 30 feet of you. For its action, it can only use the dash action or try to escape the effects of not being able to move. If it has nowhere to move, it can only take the dodge action.
Alrighty, good to know. So, this one here, and I'll give it a little green dot to indicate that it's affected. So that is the one that has been affected by your channel divinity. Beautiful. All right, so that's going to be your full turn there, right?
Yep.
Beauty. So that's going to be Margot, Nebula down. Hellhound number 1 is still up at 8 hit points. And it is going to use its entire turn to move as far away from you three as it can. All three of you
fuck it's not.
get attacks of opportunity.
This thing ain't going anywhere.
So we'll go left to right. Galahad, go and make an attack of opportunity against this creature.
Actually, wait, hold on. Can we go right to left?
Sure. It's moving away from Margot first. So yeah, Margot, you get an attack of opportunity against this creature. Any melee weapon that you're currently holding.
I don't have melee weapon, but I do have a. Can I like? I want to like.
Claw?
I want to like.
There is a specific
you can't use
feat
any spells
that allows you to use spells, but otherwise it's just a whatever you have available to you melee swipe.
Yeah, it would just be a melee swipe.
All right, go for it.
So go ahead and make your melee attack. So,
no, not the cursed dice. I almost grabbed the cursed dice. I'm not fucking with that die.
So D20, add your strength modifier to it. It is an improvised weapon, so you're not proficient.
Yeah, no, that's a 7.
It's a 7.
Margot.
You kind of reach out and go to grab this thing, but like seeing Les's body on the ground, kind of bleeding beside you, knowing that your flame had no impact, it's kind of shaking a little bit, and you go and reach out for the creature as it just kind of bolts its head out of the way, unable to grab it onto it. Nebula, your attack of opportunity.
I'm not meant to punch.
It's true. You would have only dealt your strength modifier's worth of damage, too, so...
Making that swing with a dagger here.
You would have dealt 0 damage.
Or sorry, my
damage.
short sword is really what I use.
Short sword, sure. Go for it.
That looks like I got an 11.
11 misses as well. You're reaching out for this. Unfortunately, the creature's... It is quite an agile, dexterous creature as it leaps out of the way off to the side. Galahad, you get the final swing. The longsword a little bit longer than anything else anybody's attacking with. Go and make the attack.
I got a 19.
You got a 19. 19 hits.
Yeah,
did you want to add anything to it, or do you want to just leave it as the base damage? It looks very badly injured.
I dealt 13 damage to it.
13 damage is enough. So as Margot reaches out with the claw and tries to swipe at it, it jumps out of the way. Nebula, same thing, reaching out. The front paws leave the ground. Back hind legs about to leave the ground as you just cut the hind legs out from underneath it and it into the ground. And then you just slice the body in half cleanly as everything just drops to the ground. The creature having been deleted.
Clean up crew today. Woo!
Alrighty. So with that has made it through the first Hellhound. We're on to The second one was dispatched already, so we're on to Jules.
All right, Jules is gonna step directly this way,
And you can see now because my torches.
Well,
I
she could
got
see before.
the way.
Oh yeah, you got dark vision.
Tieflings.
Oh yeah, you have dark vision.
I'm perfectly fine. I just had some people in my way. So
And now
gonna
Les is
Eldritch
unconscious, so you're good.
Well, not only do you have people, but you also have an unconscious, almost near corpse.
I rolled a nat 20.
Nat 20, let's go. All right.
So does a 27 hit?
Nat 20 always hits.
Avenge me!
Always has.
All right, so that's gonna be 2d10 worth of damage since I doubled the dice, correct?
Correct. Double the number of dice you would roll.
That is a 6 and a 5, so an 11 plus 5 because I have the Eldritch Invocation. that
Of
lets me
course
add
you
my
do.
Charisma modifier.
16
So
damage.
16 damage.
Beautiful. So Jules just kind of finally getting a bit of a line of sight, seeing Les's unconscious body, one standing feral beast, jaws snapping towards Galahad as some of the flame drips down onto the ground. You've got a perfect wide open target side of its body. You rear back, cast your spell, summon the orb of force, and forward, fire it forward, impacts against the creature as it almost folds in half underneath the pressure. Its hind legs kind of bring themselves inwards before solidifying itself and kind of leaks out some of the flame onto the ground. Nicely done. All right, that's going to be your action. You do still have your movement and your bonus.
I do still have my movement and my bonus. I'm gonna stay. Took 5 feet of movement. I still have a little bit left.
Yeah.
Let me just see how far I can get. Can I stand in that spot there? This spot here?
Yep, you can. The corner is open.
Okay, then I will step to the corner there. I can take a couple of hits.
Okay, so with you stepping into the corner, you get a little bit more view at the rest of the room.
Please, God. let this
Oh,
not be anymore.
no.
So funny.
I don't know about you, but like, wow, what would happen if there was like actually 3 or 4 more dogs? That would be real fucked
it-
up, wouldn't it?
30 feet of dark vision or 60 feet for a tiefling?
I believe it's 60 feet, but allow me to double check.
Okay, I'll just...
Oh, I don't like the arrow. That is piecing out.
Dark vision is 60 feet. Yep.
Yeah, I got 60 feet then.
All right. So,
Jules, what do your eyes see?
what do your devil eyes see?
What do your teeth eyes see?
You see the entirety of the room.
Oh, thank God.
Alrighty. So, on from Jules, we come to the Last Hellhound. First, does it get its breath weapon back? Come on, baby.
No, I hope not.
It's
Bring
a 1.
it on.
It does not get its breath weapon back.
Thank the
Hell
fucking
yeah.
Lord.
It does not have
Bye.
pack tactics, but it, having only taken damage from the creature that rushed up next to it, is going to go ahead and turn around and see you coming down the hallway and immediately go ahead and make a strike against you. So, Jules, this is going to be... Ooh, that's a 21 to hit.
Yeah, that definitely hits me.
All right, so that's going to be this amount of damage. Not that good. You take 7 points of piercing damage and 6 points of fire damage.
7 points of piercing and 5 points.
6, so it's 13 total.
Okay. 13 total damage.
Correct. And that is its entire action is now being surrounded by all of you, but having absolutely no fear in its eyes. You reach out, or you see the creature just whip around, grab it, take its jaws, and bite them into your upper calf, and some of the flame just licks up around the area and drips down onto your lower leg. Definitely a painful one, but with the creature on its own and nothing else seeming to be in the room, you feel pretty confident this one's going to be over soon. Top of the round,
Well,
Phelan.
With everybody about to destroy this hound, calls to veterinary practices because we're about to commit a euthanasia.
So, Phelan, top of the round. You are a fair ways back, but you see that the creature is now on its own.
Yeah, it is. I am gonna go ahead and move forward. Seeing that like it's most of my friends are in the way, I'm gonna go up to this spot here. Yeah, I'm gonna go right next to Les. I don't have any heals, sadly, so I'm gonna go ahead and
You could stand on Les's square for your turn because he is unconscious.
Yeah.
Stand on my nose.
That would give you the range to be able to attack if you wanted to, right? Because you've got a 10-foot range.
Yeah. I was going to use my crossbow, but that also works.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead, and it's better to hit it with my shaman's claw. So I'm gonna step up here to where Les is. I'm just gonna leave my character where it's at though, and hit the creature twice with my shaman's claw.
All right, go for it. Make your first attack.
To try and see with my first one, it will be a 14 plus 6 for an unnatural 20, baby.
20 hits. Nicely done. Roll the damage.
And with somebody there, that means it is indeed
sneak attack.
Yeah, baby.
Sneaky.
If there's a fucking Rakshasa in that other room, we're all dead.
Oh, we are 100%.
Even if it was
dead.
just the Rakshasa, we're
So that is the regular damage is 6 points of damage, and then the sneak attack will be 5. So that'll be a total of 11 points of damage.
11 points of damage for the first one. Go make your second attack.
Yeah, baby. And for that second one, come on, baby. Shaman, you got this. That's a 17 plus 6 for 23.
23 also hits. Go and roll damage for that.
Hell yeah. And that'll be 6 points of damage as I slash onto it once and twice on top of Les. And I'm going to whisper onto him, we'll get you right back up as I step away.
So kind of stepping over, Les's legs kind of flailing a little bit underneath you as he's trying to simultaneously, unconsciously avoid your steps as you're kind of stepping on top of him a little.
Run
but
right
they
over.
ragdoll a little as you reach out with the shaman's claw and do what you tried to do last time, grabbing the neck of the creature and then just 2 quick strikes against the top of the head. You can see some of the skin starting to separate and some of the flame leaking out onto the ground. Again, similar thing, the ground itself almost burning underneath the black ichor that's coming out of the creature, releasing it and taking a step back.
Dang, that's wild. Yeah, that's my turn.
So next up we come to Les. I need you to make a death saving throw for me.
Nat 20, baby, nat 20.
So it's just the D20 is not plus anything, right?
Correct. Roll a d20, 11 or higher.
Natural 1.
That is
Fuck.
2 failed death saving throws.
Excuse me?
That's what happens with everybody having stomped on top of you. Les, you're just getting ragdolled from side to side as 2 failed death saving throws get taken.
What is this fucking rock here? This is weird. I'm gonna try to hit it more. Oh god, it's a person.
So Les, you are on 2 failed death saving throws. Galahad, it is now your turn. Creature staring down on you, but you see Les as Phelan kind of stepped over and took a couple of strikes against the creature. You look back and Les has just coughed up a gout of blood onto the ground. What would you like to do?
Man, if only Lay on Hands was a bonus action. Oh well. Sacrifices I make for this party. That's right. I'm gonna step between Hellhound and Les. Kneel down. I'm gonna bonk him on the noggin for 10 points of Lay on Hands, plus your 13 temporary hit points from the Inspiring Smite.
Alrighty. So Les, on the brink of death, Galahad stepping over and being very careful, reaching down with the light coming off of the torches that Nebula is holding. One hand underneath your arm, and then just kind of a boom, and then you feel your consciousness come back to you. A lot of your wounds beginning to heal. Some of the burns immediately starting to singe off of your skin, and then with those temporary hit points kind of feeling a little bit more secure than you normally would.
I want to raise up from the ground. Look down on my armaments and my clothes. Were you guys running all over me?
Nope.
You can tell that I didn't because you would have concaved your ribcage.
Exactly. You're standing over me, helping me up.
Yeah. Okay. As a bonus action / free action / anything, I'm just gonna intimidate this hellhound, try and get its attention.
All right, and it is definitely looking directly at Jules as you kind of like bop it on the snoot with the butt end of your longsword and then pull it back out. But now we come to Margot, then Nebula, then Jules. Margot, you got a chance.
I gotta fix this. Margot is gonna shove Nebula out of the way and immediately like run to the other side, and she's like, I've electrocuted a dog before, I'll do it again, and she's gonna try and like grab its muzzle and just like shock grasp.
Awesome, shock and grasp. Go for it. It's a melee spell attack, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's That's a nat 20! That's a nat 20!
Alright, nat 20s, baby.
Yep.
Nat 20 plus 4, so technically 24.
Nat 20 is always going to do it. Nicely done. So double the dice on that one, and then let me know the total.
Woo, 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 woo. Okay.
You've redeemed yourself.
So that is, let's see here. 6 points of shocking damage. Not a lot.
6 points total?
Yep.
Alright. So that is your action for that one as you reach out with the shocking grasp, and as you
Is
said...
that with the double dice?
Yeah, I rolled a 3. Can we not talk about it?
Well, you roll 2 dice.
Oh, no, so I rolled a 3. Oh, so I need to
Yeah, so,
roll
another
so
dice.
you
'Cause
roll
you
the
actually
number of
rolled-
dice.
I thought you just wanted
yeah.
me to roll it and then double it.
No,
Sorry,
I
got
don't like that because, like, if you roll a 1, you get screwed. If you roll an 8, it's insane, right? So
Okay, I got a 5 on that one, so 8.
So 8. Okay, so
altogether.
2 extra points. Everything
Yeah.
counts as you reach out and you grab the top of the muzzle and you just kind of shut up, and then the arc lightning kind of jumping between its teeth down into its throat. You see the gullet turning from red to blue as the lightning bounces back and forth with the heat from the flame inside its chest, and unfortunately is not quite enough to drop it. It is so close as we come to Nebula.
Margot's gonna look over at Nebula and just be like, put it out of its misery.
And at this proximity,
You see Margot still holding the jaw shut, and the creature just essentially helpless in front of you.
yeah, Nebula's just gonna stick his hand out, and you see a pulse of energy come off of it as Eldritch Blast rips out of his hand.
Alright.
Eldridge.
And you see Jules go,
For a 21 to hit.
21 does hit. It is a disadvantage, actually, because you are directly adjacent to it.
Is Eldritch Blast a ranged one?
Ranged, yeah.
Okay, well, we'll go ahead and do disadvantage. That's a 16 to hit.
16 still hits.
Yeah.
All right. Rolling
reckon-
damage on.
Eldritch Blast, right?
Yes, you do.
I just
Yeah.
love the mental image.
And
Oh,
that's 4 force damage that just kind of rips out of his hand.
Creature has 4 hit points. As Nebula, you reach out, Margot holding its muzzle in place. You're reaching out, grabbing its hindquarters, and just shoving your hand directly into the side of it, and then realizing, no. Sliding it underneath where the belly is, and then straight up to the creature. Fountain of blood and flame licking across the edges of the walls, across all of you. Not enough to damage anybody, but definitely enough that you know that the creature is kind of falling apart to pieces as it impacts against the ground and begins to disappear into the gray and black wisps of smoke.
All right,
Yeah.
so
Jules is immediately going to walk up and grab Nebula by the wrist that he used to cast Eldritch Blast and get right up in his face and go, "What in the hell was that?"
and Nebula is going to look back at Jules and say, "I'll tell you about it later." And he's going to advance his 30 feet of movement towards the center of the room now that he can see with the torches. And he's going to be staring straight down that hallway, as it's not been 10 minutes, right?
Correct. It has not been 10 minutes. However, as this combat is wrapped up, we are about 2 hours in. We are going to take a quick little break. So
Yes.
we're going to give us a chance to refresh our drinks, let everybody get back, let Les accommodate himself again. But nicely done, guys. Your first combat encounter with me. 3 Hellhounds, total of 135 hit points that you dealt with.
The fight. Nice.
I didn't do shit. I did 8 hit points the entire freaking
You
combat.
killed me and then wanted to kill Say.
I did.
You actually
didn't,
did, because
though.
the 3 points of damage would have kept him alive from the bite that the creature did onto his leg. So with that, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We love you guys. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and chat. We'll be back in 10 minutes at most, 5 minutes after the hour. Also, we're going to run a couple of ads through the break. If you stick around for those, we'd appreciate it. Love you guys so much. We'll see you soon.
I live.
We are back, and we're all in the wrong places. Oh my god. I didn't realize somebody left.
Oh, it's probably because
Lance.
I didn't
Wow,
realize
I'm
that
so
Lance
sorry.
left. It's okay. I'm fixing it. And...
Ah.
Oh my god. No, that's not right.
Time war.
Jules got a
Let's
beard.
do
Sorry.
time warp
Time
again.
dancing, time warp again. There we go. Not time dance.
There we go.
So
All right.
definitely
Perfect. All right, so we're officially back. So, with this continuing on, you guys now inside this room. Let's go ahead and continue. So,
music is back.
looking around the room, you see that the far end seems to have collapsed, with piles of rocks and debris closing off whatever path may have been ahead. And I'll go ahead and show you guys that right now. And before we forget, because you were still within that 10-minute time frame,
Oh, I didn't forget. Don't you worry.
you did feel that there was some kind of a ping coming from this corner of the room,
Shit.
underneath what seems to be regular flooring inside the room.
Well, first things first. I give Les Paul the once over, just like dust him off, pat him down, make sure that he's all right. Because he was looking too bad there. Sounds better now.
Alrighty.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You all
Jules
right?
is gonna follow closely behind Nebula, just glaring at him.
You took a bit of a hit there. You feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm a bit alright. Still getting used to these fucking powers, whatever the fuck they are. Who the... Is that Margot that hit me in the back of the head?
I
Still
didn't see anything.
Yes, it was.
In
Les,
my
perhaps-
defense, in my defense, you were in the way.
Okay. We're gonna have a talk later, you and I.
Perhaps it's best we take a moment to catch our breath after that. There may be worse horrors we face down, and we seemed to be a little rusty on handling situations.
I also saw something in the corner of the room.
And I'll turn and shine the light that way.
All right. So one thing that you guys do notice as well is that this room, in comparison to what you've made your way through so far, which has been, kind of loose, dark brown dirt, a lot of it just kind of trampled underfoot, and really not exactly unlike what you would expect to see underground. This chamber from the entrance area that you came into seems to be packed gray clay. Like, it's a little bit softer. It's definitely a lot more evenly spaced. And Galahad, you kind of making your way over, and Nebula, you shining the light over there as you kind of push your way a little bit closer. Excuse me. You notice that... Where is it? In the southwest corner of the room, you notice that the clay is a little bit more indented than it is for the rest of the room. And stepping on it, you feel your weight shift a little slightly. And dusting it off, you see that there is a small handle that's visible that allows you to pull up.
Before I so much as touch it, I'm going to use my action to learn its school of magic, if it has any.
So the way that Detect Magic works is you know that it's there. You currently cannot see the source of the magic, so there isn't a way for you to use your action to do that. Yeah, that was the one thing I had to check for Detect Magic. You can sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. You sense that it's there underneath the what essentially is a trapdoor. If you sense it this way, you can use your action to see an aura around any visible object. Currently, it is not visible.
I get you, homie. All right. I'm going to brush away some of the clay around this handle just to get a sense of how big this trapdoor is.
Okay. So the trapdoor looks to be about maybe 3 feet wide by 2 feet long. So it is kind of a rectangular piece, and the handle is just on one side of it. And you see that there are very small hinges on the other side that seem to be camouflaged pretty well.
Alrighty. First of all, I point out to everyone that I've found this.
Right. What's that over there?
I think it's some sort of trapdoor.
But I think Nebula was right. I think it would be very wise for us to take a moment maybe to breathe and keep an eye out on this door, make sure nothing comes out while we do rest maybe.
Right.
I agree.
And then we can go down it.
Catch our breath before we move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Does it look like a door you could go through?
It is very small. Probably not something you would go through.
More like a cache.
Possible.
Everyone stand back. Galahad, how do you feel about opening that?
before you do, and I'm going to cast with cantrip Mage Hand. I think we should all back up and maybe just see if we can open it from afar.
And
That sounds like a wise
I'll
idea.
follow your lead.
yeah, Nebula's going to take the dodge action, basically kind of put his shield up, and he's going to stand. He wants to stand at the far end of the room with his back to the wall.
Okay. So everybody
I'm going to also, if we're not taking a short rest just yet, I'm going to use my bonus action for my psionic power recovery and regain one expended psionic energy die in case I'm.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, I do want to rest, but I don't feel like this is going to take us anywhere.
Alrighty.
Just you wait until it casts enlarge or reduce on us and have to fucking go
Fucking Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah. Ugh. But yeah, as everybody goes back, I'm gonna move relatively close to it. I'm gonna be 20 feet away from it, since it takes me 30 feet to be able to, or I can move my mage hand 30 feet away, and I'm going to stand up and say, "All right, everyone," and I'm gonna try and lift it up with my mage hand.
As you're doing that, I will just move in front of you with my shield, just in case.
I had you.
Do you want to maybe move your characters where they'll be?
Oh, right. Good point.
Yeah.
No,
Just
I'm
so
gonna
we have
stay
a
right
map or
there.
something.
5, 10, 15, 20. I think this should be about right. I'll double check here. Yeah, that's about 20 feet, so I'll stand right there.
Okay. All right. So setting yourself up in the positions defensively, making sure everybody's outside of radius. You go ahead and use your mage hand to lift it up, and you get a little bit of resistance, but it kind of cracks and eventually comes through that, and then you continue lifting it up. And as you do, the latch opens, and you hear a slight before black mist erupts upward out, covering your mage hand in some kind of black mist-like aerosol spray.
Is it spreading?
Doesn't seem to be spreading. It does kind of make your mage hand visible, because it is kind of a semi-physical thing where it impacts against it, and it kind of gives like the palm is just covered in this black spray of some kind, but nothing seems to happen beyond that.
Okay. I think. Okay, so this was definitely trapped. I guess I could have probably searched for that before we opened it, but it's safe. I guess we should wait maybe and see what we can do before we go in and check it out.
Can we try and disperse whatever that is? Does Les Paul have any more of that wind?
Yeah. Les Paul, are you able to do that?
I'm a little bit tapped out at the moment. It's gonna take a while for me to kind of regain my strength with that.
I see.
All right, you just get some rest.
That's fair. Am I able to just, I guess, with my mage hand, just kind of start waving it around to see if it moves the wind at all, or like moves the aerosol spray?
The aerosol has kind of settled onto the hand. You like wave it back and forth through the air as best you can, and it shakes some of it off. You think of it like a slight mist from a garden hose. It's kind of shaking some of it off, but there is still some of it that clings to it. In the air, nothing seems to be there anymore. It seemed to be a fairly directed spray upwards. But nobody's really close enough to look at what's inside the compartment at the moment.
Nebula.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think this might have just been something to mock whoever stole the things, but...
Yeah, Nebula would advance once it's open and that mist hasn't done anything. With his light source, he would slowly advance.
Okay. It could have been poison.
It could have been.
Yeah, I'll walk alongside Galahad as we approach, kind of shields at the ready.
Yeah, for sure.
Jules will follow behind you.
All right, so everybody kind of slowly making their way over, to kind of curious of what is inside this little hidden compartment inside this room that seems to be blockaded off. You see that inside there is a small iron chest Does not appear to be any wood on it. The entirety of the chest seems to be iron, and it does have a lock on the outside of it.
Do you want
It is also covered in that same black mist that erupted from the compartment.
Oh shit. Okay. Yes, I will. I think it'd be best if I do that. And I'm gonna go ahead and use. I'm trying to see if I can. I'm gonna use my spell to.
Kevin's got
Oh
a
my
finger up.
God.
What's up?
Quick question. So, this trap door they opened, there is a chest sort of a couple
set into the ground underneath it. Yeah.
Am I able to kind of see it from where I am? Like, is it deep enough that I won't be able to see it, or can I kind of see it open and see that there's like a chest kind of in there?
You can kind of see that. I mean, everybody's kind of chatting about it a little bit. You know that it's there.
And there's this black sort of cloud amongst it, or black dust over it.
It's essentially like black dust has settled onto it.
Now, my question is, would I be able to use my telekinetic movement?
Your telekinetic? Yes, you can.
Lift it up in the air and try to like move it, kind of like gingerly, kind of roll it around 360, try to move any of this dust and poisonous stuff off of it.
So,
Be careful. I hope there's no explosives in there.
telekinetic movement, you choose one loose object that is larger or smaller, which it definitely is. If you can see the target and it's within 30 feet, you can move it up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space you can see. So, yes, gingerly you could lift it out and place it somewhere else in the room if you would like.
All right. As I'm kind of like holding my wounds from and kind of waiting for the heal to kind of fully take form from Galahad, it's kind of gingerly whisper out, "Move out of the way. I'll help with this."
So all of you see Les kind of reaching out and almost grabbing an invisible object with his hand and kind of forming to the right size of what the chest would be, and then the chest itself just lifts straight up silently and just slides over towards the middle of the room and then places down into the middle of the room quite heavily, but it is an iron chest.
Nebula takes the torch and holds it to the chest.
Okay.
I'm going back up as soon as I see that torch moving towards that chest in case there's
I'll still
explosives.
just as shieldy boy to the chest as I can.
Okay. So Nebula going over, everybody kind of making themselves somewhat scarce, but just being able to be at least somewhat nearby. Galahad shielding up a little bit. You take the side of the torch and you touch it to the side of the chest, and it kind of it seems to be interacting with the black mist that is kind of settled on the chest, but doesn't seem to be dispersing it.
And he still holds it to the chest itself for a minute. He doesn't give a shit about the black stuff. He's looking at the chest itself.
Okay.
And he's just kind of waiting for a minute. And then if nothing happens, he pulls the torch back. And he says, "Never can be too careful with these things. Not everything is what it seems."
I'm curious what that black powder actually is.
Well, it's probably best we don't find out in some cases.
I'm going to actually dismiss my mage hand and resummon it to see if the black powder's stuck to it, if anyway.
Okay.
I'm assuming it wouldn't, but
yeah,
we'll
so
see
you dismiss
anyways.
the mage hand, and as you do, because the spell itself vanishes, the black powder that was adhered to it, stuck to it, just kind of poof, and then falls to the ground, and just seems to be sitting on the ground a little, mixing with the dirt.
I'm going to go ahead and remove or try and like rub my hand over it, like my mage hand over it as well, over the chest, and see if I can remove some of the dirt, the black powder off of it to clear it
Do
up.
we have any empty vials that we could maybe put a sample of it into?
Very good point.
Yeah, somebody did use a healing potion during the fight.
I did.
So you would have the
Yes,
empty
I
vial for
do. Yes, I do. Right. Do we want to take some of this then in there? Okay.
I'll grab the potion and you can like angle it.
Mage hand it in.
Okay, so using your mage hand, because what had happened before obviously is that the mage hand was there and it had sprayed up onto it and kind of gotten stuck to it. You take your mage hand now and you try to like wipe it off, and it's not actually a dry powder. It does appear to have some kind of a liquid consistency to it, as if like something, I don't really know how to describe it, like iron filings mixed with a little bit of oil almost. And you kind of begin to move it across, hoping to brush it out of the way, and you're almost like smearing it onto the chest now.
Okay. So that's not going to work. I am almost out of tricks. I can't think of anything else.
Nebula whips out a dagger and uses that to try and kind of scrape some with the blade into the vial.
Okay. Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check for me.
Whoop.
You're trying to actually take a sample of it, so.
I got a +4, and I rolled a nat 20.
Hey!
Let's go, baby.
20s.
Okay, so with a 24, we'll say you're able to get one sampling's worth of it before you've pretty much scraped the major flat areas clean. There is still some of it that is stuck to the outside of the chest and like the awkward edges and corners and things, but you're able to get one vial of black powder liquid, we'll say, from the from this room. You have no idea what it does, you have no idea what it is, you have no idea where you are.
What say we have our wonderful friend look that over? I'm sure she'll get a kick out of it.
Cheide, did you say the chest was locked?
It is locked, yeah. There is a lock on the outside of it.
All right.
You want to look your magic?
Absolutely. I will again use my mage hand to go ahead and unlock it. I'll pull out my thieves' tools and hand it to my mage hand and have it go ahead and try and unlock it.
Okay, so go ahead and do that. So for your mage hand, does it get your same bonuses?
I believe so, yes. Since I have the mage hand legendarium, it says that I can... Yep, that one. Legendary. It says I can use it to thieves' tools. I can use thieves' tools to pick locks and disarm traps at range.
Yeah, legerdemain.
But
So yeah, you can use thieves' tools to pick locks and disarm traps at range. You can perform one of these attacks without being noticed by a creature. Blah blah blah. Okay, yeah. So so you get to make a dexterity check with. Are you proficient in thieves' tools? I'm assuming yes.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so with your proficiency modifier, and I think, did you take expertise in thieves' tools?
I did not.
Okay,
no.
So just add your dex and add your proficiency modifier.
Okay, so I'll do a dex check and then add +2 for my proficiency.
Yep.
That is 10 + 4, 14, 16 total.
16 is enough. DC was 15.
Woo!
So with that, as you using your mage hand, having your thieves' tools in your mage hand, the tools themselves are going into the lock opening. They are starting to get a little bit black from some of the whatever that mist was that's kind of attached to the lock, but you are able to turn it inside the lock, and you hear the familiar ping as the lock is released, and then it falls loose and is now just sitting loose on the outside of the chest.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm presto. I think we are good, and I will lift it up.
Okay, so mage hand, take the lock off, lift up the lid. Inside, you see that there is a fine black cloth that seems to be folded over a couple of times on itself, but there are a couple of distinct folds underneath it, where it kind of would be resting against things.
Okay. I'm gonna, just to be clear, I'll start unwrapping the folds as I start getting closer to it. At this point, I'm assuming that like most of the danger is gone, and start getting
I'll
closer.
still be with you with that shield.
All right, still there with that shield. So the two of you making your way closer, Phelan still using that mage hand and just kind of carefully open things up. You lift off one of the first black sashes and the second, and then the third and the fourth. And inside you see that there are two very fine, very dark metal daggers. They almost look like, not pitch black, but they're definitely dark metal with a slight sheen to them. And then there is also a small coin purse as well.
Well, I think we are rich now.
Hold up now. I'd like to use my action to detect the magic on these daggers.
Alrighty.
There you go.
Daggers are, in fact, magical. The School of Magic...
You wouldn't know, they went to a different school.
Doesn't even go here.
Doesn't even go here. God.
Please.
The schools of magic would be enchantment.
Ooh.
So the daggers themselves do appear to both be enchanted. Phelan, I'll get you to go ahead and make a Make a history check for me.
Alrighty, let's see.
Giving you that.
Margot is curious as well and is wants to get closer to like what is happening.
So you kind of begin to shuffle your way over as you see little bits of shiny.
That's a 7 plus 3 for a 10.
For a 10, okay. The daggers are definitely not steel. You don't know, or iron, you don't know exactly what the material is, but you know that it's not a traditional, typical material for daggers.
Here's a fun question, Geordie.
Yeah, go for it.
As someone who is proficient in smith tools, would I have any...
Oh,
knowledge
yes,
of-
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'll get you to go ahead and roll... What would this be?
Can I like peek out from behind the shield and like do an Arcana check?
Sure. I'll let Margo roll an Arcana check. Galahad, you can roll an Intelligence check with your proficiency modifier.
Okay. So plus...
I got a 15.
15, okay.
I got a 18.
18, okay. Margo, the bag that has the coins in it is quite small, but has a shine, has a little bit of an air of more than gold to it. You don't know exactly what's inside, but you've kind of got a nose for this, that like that's not just gold in there.
Shit about to be platinum.
The daggers themselves, you're not 100% sure. The material looks familiar. You don't remember exactly what it is, but again, same thing as Phelan. You know that it's not iron. It's not steel. It is definitely something more than that. Galahad on an 18, however. You recognize this material as adamantine. It is a much more strong, well-forged material that will not break under the same stress that iron and steel and silver would normally break. This is an item that is very carefully carved, but there are also a lot of times negative connotations associated with it. Black blades bringing bad luck and things like that. But the weapons themselves are incredibly well-crafted. They are magical, and they are made of a material that blades are normally not made of.
Alrighty, so what I'll do is I'll very gingerly take both of the blades out, and I'll sort of hold them in a presenting fashion and turn to the group and fill them in on what I know of adamantine daggers and the enchantment that is on this.
Where would Nebula's knowledge on this come in?
Your knowledge on this is it is a very fine weapon, something that is not always associated with the prime material plane where you guys are right now, kind of lending credence to otherworldly entities that you had seen in the nearby vicinity.
Yep, your boy
Someone starts to sit up.
wants to have a good look at them there, daggers.
Margot, while Galahad is presenting the daggers, wants to reach down and grab the supposed small bag of more than just coin.
Alrighty, so you kind of having a nose for that. Everybody else is kind of ooh, ah, over the daggers. You're like, yank, and you just yoink the bag and you take a look inside, and you do see that there is definitely gold in there. It is mostly gold of the total number of coins, but there is a shine that is a much lighter color that is definitely not silver. There does appear to be some platinum in here as well.
Yeah, baby.
Adamantine, platinum. We gotta make some claws later.
So the purse,
Nebula. Oh, go ahead.
the purse contains 11 platinum pieces and 29 gold pieces.
What the fuck?
11 platinum, boy.
I'm going shopping.
So it is a very small purse, but it holds an incredible amount of wealth in it.
Hold on, repeat the number again. I was wrapping my head around it.
11 platinum, so that's worth of 110 gold pieces, and then 29 gold as well.
Okay.
And the daggers are 2 adamantine daggers. You know that they are enchanted. You're not entirely sure what the enchantment is, but the blades themselves are still very fine regardless.
Yeah, so Nebula's going to reach out to Galahad and say, do you mind if I hold on to one of these?
Oh, of course.
And he's going to look at them and twirl them back and forth. These wouldn't be hidden unless they were of use. It doesn't make sense to just leave them locked up. But considering the sort of things we just saw, I believe we're looking at an insurance policy.
What do you mean by that?
You don't make weapons out of this sort of stuff. Not unless you're dealing with atypical situations. And he motions back to where the like corpses of the dogs would be. And that's not your run-of-the-mill wild mutt. I think whatever brought these things here was prepared for them, or at least tried to be. So I believe two things. One, those were not here by accident. I mean, given the structure, given their location, and finding weapons ready to perhaps deal with them, they were brought here. Two, this is only the beginning.
What would someone want to do with hellhounds in a place like this?
I don't know.
Considering we're looking for a Rakshasa, seems like hell is a reoccurring theme.
Maybe hell is coming here.
The hounds may just be a byproduct of whatever truly is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Nice work on that chest, by the way, Phelan.
At this
Thank you.
point, Margot, knowing, like, hey, Moolah, like, dumps a little bit of, like, the platinum and gold in her hand. She just goes, all right, insurance policy. Then I just assume this is also a piggy bank.
And Nebula looks over to it and says, I don't have the knowledge for it, but is there any reason platinum would be used in interaction with demons?
Can I roll to see if I could recognize that at all, Jordy?
I just feel like this is the equivalent of like a high fantasy bug-out bag, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Jules, I'll get you to make your choice of either an Arcana check or a history check.
I'll make an Arcana check. They're both the same modifiers for me, but I'll make an Arcana check. I like that.
Arcana's a cooler.
That's a nat 20.
Oh my god!
What is this
Vindicated!
session?
Yes.
We know
Wait,
every...
that's everybody today, right?
Not me.
Les is the only one who hasn't done it today.
Not me.
But you had the natural
That's
one,
what
so
I almost died. I've been trampled on. I've been saving my friends and eating shit, and people shooting fireballs in the back of my head.
so
That is a
fine.
26 total.
26
What
total.
do I
Okay.
know, Jordy?
So sorry. So what was the exact question?
Platinum involved in demon.
Okay. Platinum involved
Hell of a
in
headline.
demonic entities of some kind. Nothing particularly comes to mind. At the idea of the bug-out bag being brought up, platinum is a lot easier to travel with than gold is, right? That 50 pieces of any given coin equates to 1 pound of material. This being 40 coins, it's less than a pound. If you were trying to carry 150 coins, it's only 3 pounds, but the purse that you would have to hold it in is much larger. So this kind of feeling closer to a bug-out bag in respect to the amount of gold, maybe just a little bit being set aside at a time. The daggers, very different story. Those are not something that is really designed for a bug-out bag. These are very nice pieces. These are things that would definitely have a use of some kind. So, yeah.
So if the daggers are magical, can Margot make an Arcana check to see if like she knows anything about the magic about the daggers?
It's enchantment school.
Yeah,
Enchantment.
you guys pretty much through Galahad's detect magic, you pretty much know as much as you're going to know without identifying specifically what the daggers are, and that's going to take an
We would
identify
need to
spell.
cast the identify spell.
Correct, or attempt to attune to the daggers over a short rest and see if you're able to figure something out in that respect.
And that's playing a game of roulette.
Correct. Less.
Are the dog bodies still there, or did they dissipate?
The dog bodies have all dissipated. All the bones, all the flesh and the skin have all vanished, and you essentially just see craters where the dogs were of burned scorch marks on the ground.
Okay, there's nothing left behind at all then.
Correct. It's just the ashes of where they were when their bodies burned.
I was just gonna check up to see if there's anything left behind.
So shall we take a moment to rest then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Galahad,
Yes.
may I see these?
Oh, you're gonna go for it. All right.
Yeah, sorry. The
I was saying,
otherworldly person is definitely going to try to attune to the otherworldly daggers.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you don't,
Yeah.
Yeah.
curiosity killed the bugbear, you know.
Before you do that, as you reach out for the nebula, Jules is gonna kind of hold her hand out and place it on yours and go, I wouldn't recommend that. It's rather dangerous attempting to attune to weapons that you don't know what they're going to do.
Would you care to join me then?
In attuning to them? No.
There
I
are
will not
two.
be taking that risk.
Then only one of us needs risk it.
I would not try to pick Nebula's brain about this, Jules. It's only going to lead to a headache.
Daggers. Please be teleporting daggers.
And so, yeah, Nebula during this short rest would attempt to attune to these. For
During
sure.
the rest, also Jules is gonna try and pull Nebula aside.
Sure.
So we can all say that we're short resting in the
Jordy?
thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Just
I mean,
make it
it's up to
official.
you guys. Are you short resting in the cave, or are you wanting to head out?
Yeah,
We're saying we're all short resting in the cave, I think is what we're trying to say collectively.
Mhm.
Yeah. So you guys kind of hunker down, looking back at the entrance, figuring out if there's going to be any watches, or you guys all just passing out for an hour. What's happening?
Well, you don't need to sleep for a short rest. You just need to not do any combat or anything extensive. You can basically sit around a campfire or anything for an hour.
Yeah.
And Nebula would suggest that anyone with dark vision be the ones to keep watch down the hallway.
I think okay, yeah. I'm gonna stay up and kind of just keep an eye out on Nebula and the daggers, and just kind of in the meantime be kind of sharpening my shaman's claw and making sure that it's as sharp as it can be, and like my other weapons are good to go. And also checking my shoes, cause like if my stealth was that bad, I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, Jules is gonna grab Nebula by the like shirt sleeve and gesture with their head and pull him aside away from the rest of the group.
Sure. And so Nebula would move over to wherever Jules like wants to go sit or stand, and maybe like at the back upper end of the cavern near the cave-in. And he would sit back down and continue trying to attune to these, and would just kind of listen to whatever it is Jules has to say.
So I couldn't help but notice the Eldritch Blast you used there at the end of that fight.
Is that what you call it here?
Yeah.
I saw you use it once before and thought it was quite useful.
What'd you do to get it?
I asked nicely.
From who?
Now, I do believe you and I were going to have a much similar conversation, but the roles were to be reversed last I checked.
Yeah. Go ahead, ask away.
And he'll burn a divine sense again just for like his own personal like moment of recalling exactly everything. Every time I get a look at you and what you're made of, it's an amalgamation of things. It's unnatural. Not to say I'm one to talk, but what are you, Jules Hendricks?
I am a Fowler. And
You don't really care for that name, do you?
don't. Because as a Fowler, it's not just me. And they'll do thaumaturgy and let the ghostly essence come up off their hands and then disperse it. My magic isn't my own. My magic comes from, we call it the family patron. It's more of family patrons. We call it the Spectre. It's an amalgamation of the Fowlers that have come before. Those that have passed away, their power being given to them by the previous Fowlers, then reused and given to the next.
So you're the ones who come out and play and whisper in the night.
She's just gonna tilt your head, confused. Oh, what do you mean by that?
And he says, I'm not talking to you at this point, Jules. I'm talking to them.
I see. Yeah,
Oh no.
they are.
Oop, moose.
We lost. Oh,
There you go.
He's back.
Everybody's moving. Come on, to
Everybody shift.
Do the moose shuffle. Yeah. Do the moose shuffle.
We're back.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry, go ahead.
oh, so what about you? Where's that eldritch blast coming from?
Well, a patron, a benefactor, being above myself. When I need something to complete a task, I'm given it.
I see.
The price I pay is simply more work. It's what I'm here to do, as I've expressed. What did you pay?
The price, the official price on the line that you signed, is that when you die, your soul joins the Spectre, and your power is passed on to the future. All for the family, all for the family name, all for the family power. But it's not, I didn't give up just that. I gave up my entire childhood studying to prepare, to know the arcane, to be able to make a pact with our patron. I gave up my freedom unwillingly, without my consent, throughout my entire life. That's why I'm so hard pressed underneath my family's thumb. That's why I'm in this goddamn town in the first place.
I mean, frankly, we're not even in the town anymore now, are we?
No, we're not. No.
So right now, I'd say you're outside of their reach in this little conversation. If you could go somewhere far beyond that dotted line, would you, Jules Hendricks?
She just nods her head slowly.
And he looks just for a brief moment into like Jules's eyes, and his will flash sort of that heart of darkness, just absolute blank, as he says, almost not to Jules, And would you allow it?
Jordy.
Jules,
Would I allow it?
Jordy.
as Nebula is having this conversation with you, you're very intently focused on the conversation. You've gotten quite good at keeping everything else at bay. As that flash happens and that the follow-up happens, you instinctively get a feeling, and the voices of Splendora, Atalanta, and Avard all simultaneously come into your mind, as well as one that you haven't heard before. And all four of them in unison say no.
What?
Jules just. No. No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't.
What a shame. Such an asset, yet held back by a family. But I can't say I'm any different. But perhaps we have much more to talk about when this is over, Jules. And once more, he'll kind of look back again. And I'm sure I'll be having a conversation with you two soon. And he'll go back to looking down at the daggers.
Jules will get up and make her way and sit next to Margot. Upset.
Jules, you're used to hearing three of the voices. One of them, female voice, older. Definitely hasn't been there before. And you can't get any depictions of an image, but you just hear the voice almost echoing through a hallway in the back of your mind. Don't trust this one. And then it vanishes back into the ether at the back of your mind. And the three others, you just hear silence from them. And much more silence than you're used to hearing. As if the weight of the words is far more substantial.
Margot's gonna look over at Jules, like give her the up and down. And at this point, it like depending on how well Jules is like holding it in, is it like pretty calm, cool, and collected, or pretty like
more upset than you've probably seen Jules?
So if that's the case, she's gonna look over, give her the up and down, and just be like, "He got under your skin, didn't he?"
No, it wasn't. It's not Nebula.
Then they
Those
got under your skin, didn't they?
Yeah. Ones that are already there. They squirmed around a bit.
Slimy.
Yeah.
For both Nebula and them. At this point, Margot's gonna like kind of give a side eye over to Les Paul and see how he's doing.
Les, you can see, is tending to his wounds pretty well. Definitely looking hurt. But, sorry, Moose.
I'd like to go talk to Les while he's tending his wounds also.
Please.
And just I'll walk up to him and say, thank you, Les. This was our first time fighting side by side, but you saved my life, and I'm sorry I couldn't repay the favor.
It's quite alright. Not the first time I've passed out in that fashion. It's probably not going to be the last time either, so don't mention it.
Whatever happens, even if you do end up passing out, you know that we will have your back. Or,
Well,
I guess, your front? Maybe, I don't. It depends on how you fall.
Yes,
Just don't have his face.
I'll have to keep an extra eye out for when that one's behind me. I'm taking it.
Or in front of you, or anywhere within range, which is, I'm pretty sure, 120 feet. So just, always keep an eye out on her, yes.
Well, I mean, happy accidents then, eh? I'm not even sure how I did that myself. I'm still learning whatever this thing is inside me.
Well, to happy accidents and making sure we got each other's backs. I'll eventually get to healing better. It'll be okay.
Thanks, friend. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And you, and I just kind of point over to Margot. And I make my way kind of over. I say, look, I get it. You're the fiery, passionate one. You're the one who wants to hit first and ask questions later. And do all the damage, and you breathe all the flame and fire and put just so much intensity onto your enemies. I understand. I used to be the very same as you. Used to kick down doors, not look around in my surroundings, and just put it all on the line every single time. Sometimes that's useful against your enemies. It can be a useful tool. But more times than not, it can be a dangerous one as well and get your allies killed.
Do you think maybe the danger came the fact that you failed to detect danger?
I'm not the one that hurt our allies, miss. And maybe if you just allow me, I can help you. And then I go through my my side pockets here and pull out a dagger. Not every situation is gonna rely on fire and finesse, love. Sometimes up close and personal is the only thing you can deal with. Magic's not gonna save you every time.
So at this point, Margot sees the dagger, and she reaches back into her pack, and she pulls out the potion of healing that she bought herself, and she is gonna hand it to him. Just be like, "'Cause I don't want you thinking that I owe you."
Fair enough.
And she's not gonna take the dagger. She's just gonna gently brush it away. She's gonna be like, "I'll handle it better next time." And that's a promise.
You don't want one. I've got plenty.
As do I.
Fair enough. Thanks for the potion. Just gonna take it.
Okay. So, as all of you tend to your wounds, heal up after a hard fight for some, a relatively painless one for others, but a good showcase of new talents that not everybody has seen before. And some of you, Phelan especially, getting a better idea of exactly how much Les is capable of in combat. Your newfound ally, someone that you weren't entirely sure of. Our short rest ends, and that'll be where we pick up next week, or 2 weeks from now. So, just so I'm aware, did anybody, Nebula, did you want to attune to one of those daggers over the short rest? You are muted.
Do I want to tune these?
I shouldn't even need to answer that fucking question.
Okay.
But yes, so you can have it on the legal record. I have done so.
Okay.
If it's a thing that tells me, if I can sense I need to attune to both, I will. If I do not require to attune to both, I would attune to one to allow someone else if
I'll do that shit.
effects are not, if the effects are not hell.
Okay.
Volunteer.
So, Nebula, you're attempting to attune to one. Phelan, did you want to try to attune to the other over the short rest? Or is it...
baby!
Yeah? Okay. All right. I need you two to both
roll a
roll...
dexterity thing.
No, to both roll a d20 for me. Don't add anything. Just let me know the result.
Oh shit.
I warned you. I warned
5% or less.
I
5%.
warned you, bitches.
Phelan, what
God
did you roll?
That you did, Lance. Oh, natural 20, baby.
Natural
Oh
20.
my god!
That's probably not good.
Okay, Nebula.
Natural 20, you instantly die.
I got just a flat D20 on D&D Beyond got me an 8.
Got you an 8. Okay. Nebula, you attempt to attune to one of the daggers. You know that they're magical. You spend 30 minutes, 45 minutes. You seem to be on the edge, on the cusp of attuning to it, and then something suddenly yanks it from your grasp. Phelan, on the other hand, doing exactly the same thing for the same amount of time, you are successfully able to attune to the dagger. And as you do that, you see Nebula on the other side. You kind of look up expectantly at him, and you see him looking down at the dagger a little bit confused as it vanishes from his grasp and appears in yours.
Oh shit!
So
Yeah.
Are they teleporting daggers? Please say the teleporting.
The dagger chooses the wizard or something like that.
These are the daggers of the Aeons. Magic daggers. With a this is homebrew from me. They have a feature called Single Combatant. Both daggers must be attuned to by the same individual. If a character attempts to attune to only one of them, the second automatically attunes as well. If two characters attempt to each attune to one dagger at the same time, one of them is chosen at random to gain the attunement of both. This pair of items only uses one attunement slot. Both of the daggers are +1 magic daggers, so +1 to attack and damage rolls. In addition, you can use a bonus action to have both blades magically teleport to your hands as long as you and the blades are on the same plane of existence. So, Moose, I've got a card for this. I'll go ahead and send this in Discord so you guys have it. But that is your new item.
Double flashing daggers of the Aeon.
Moose is just the...
Yeah,
I was
fucking
gonna
collector.
I'll give him to Nebula. I
No.
will offer them to Nebula next
No,
session.
don't do that, Moose.
They're rightfully yours.
Our bugbear has
They have
all
a
our
few-
First
Things first, we have to
mean-
max out. We have to max out Phelan's attunements, and then we move to the next person.
Just pump through the list one after
We've
another.
got to stock him up.
So, well done, guys. That was
They
a great
chose you.
session.
Don't give it to Nebula. Don't give him more power.
I mean, this was literally the natural 20 of sessions. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I think that was
Sure was.
7 of them between you guys. At
I don't
least,
think
if not more.
Didn't.
I only
I-
got one.
You got 1. Moose, I know you got 2.
Yep.
I rolled a total of 5 times. I rolled a total of 5 different dice the entire game tonight, and 3 of those were crits.
Nice.
I rolled
Okay.
a 4 on my D4 and two nat 20s.
Okay, so that's 5. Galahad, I know you had 1 because fucking
So I had one crit
obliterated.
from the Divine Smite, but I also had that disadvantage stealth roll, which I did
Which
roll
you
an
did
at 20
technically
on.
crit,
The other one
that's
was
true.
18, so like,
And Nebula, you had 1 as
And
well.
I
right?
almost
Yeah.
died.
Yeah. So that was 8 crits out of the whole session. Damn, nicely done, guys. But yeah, we are good. We're gonna call it there for the night. We'll be back in 2 weeks for the continuation of this. A new item under your belt, a little bit more gold to play with, and then figure out exactly what direction you want to go with a wall.
Oh, we
in
never
front of you.
did split up the gold. Hey, yeah, Mario
Oh,
has
yeah.
all
Oh,
that.
no.
Oh,
Oh, it's
wow.
just-
What do you-
Oh, wow.
Dragons be dragon.
Wow.
Wow.
Jordy, just remind me, how much damage
Wow.
did my Divine Smite do again?
Your Divine Smite did 52.
Dang, Nebula, 3 platinum to shut the fuck up.
52
I
points.
couldn't afford that.
So just to clarify as
Gala
well,
had 1 platinum to not divine smite me into literal dust.
the creatures had 15 AC and 45 hit points. They were fiends. So you would have critting. You dealt 52. You would have dropped 1 from full to 0 in a single hit.
God damn.
Paladins be paladinin.
Paladins be
I don't-
paladin and
I don't remember anything about Hellhounds other than they're from hell, therefore they must be
Wait,
fiends.
hold on.
Well,
I
Divine
know there
Smite
are-
already does 4d8, so let's just fucking go.
I know that they're immune to the fire damage that he dealt, but did that radiant damage do anything additional?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not an entity that is additionally affected by anything. It's just that they are straight up immune to fire damage.
If they were vulnerable to radiant damage, I would have done like
104.
No, the funniest part about it is that I was thinking about it and I was like, man, if we went back and forth with fire damage, I'm resistant to fire. It would just be like,
Yeah, it's
well,
brick
on
wall.
fire, you're on fire. How you doing?
At that point, it's a battle of attrition.
Exactly.
Everyone just wanted
A
to
war of
fight.
attrition.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you guys for sticking around tonight. We appreciate you guys. And thanks, Moose, for joining with all your internet issues. We love that you're here, and I'm so happy that you got to be a part of the combat. It was so much
And you
Take
got
the
fun.
month
sweet
break,
daggers
get
out
all
of
the
it.
goddamn items.
Yeah.
I am gonna do
He's
nothing
going to
but
give
daggers
something
from
to
now
someone.
on.
I feel like you're going to
Yeah.
give Margot the claw or something like that so she can, like,
Oh, you gonna keep all of
I
them.
don't know. You'll figure it out. But anyway, thank you
gotta
again so
keep
much
on.
for everybody in the chat. I love seeing you guys sticking around. Thank you so much for being a part of this story. It feels great to me to be back in the DM seat. I know it's been like 5 sessions and I keep gushing about it, but I love that I get to do like a little homebrew thing and it makes me so happy. So we love you guys. Stay happy, stay healthy, be safe, wash your hands, and we'll see you back here in 2 weeks.
Stay hydrated.
Bye.
Bye.